I believe health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. And to those certain individuals who still want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and take us back to the days when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions, well, you all know what we say. We are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. Because ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom, including the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, you know where I'm going. As President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So, Michigan, I am here to ask for your vote. I am here to ask for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make. I pledge to listen to experts. And I pledge to listen to people who disagree with me. Because, you see, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. In fact, I'll give them a seat at the table because that's what strong leaders do. And I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans. All Americans. So that is my pledge to you, East Lansing. And let me then ask, who here has already voted? Thank you. All right, okay. Well, now I gotta ask you, please talk to your friends and family and neighbors and share your perspective on why this election is so important. Share your perspective on why, with the many, many other things you could be doing with your time right now, you took time out of your busy lives to be here. Let's connect with each other and let folks know and encourage them to make their voices heard. And for those of you who haven't voted yet, no judgment, no judgment. But please do take a moment and think about your plan for when and where you will vote. Election day is on Tuesday, November 5th. Polls are open here in Michigan from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you are not yet registered to vote, you can register and vote at your local clerk's office now through Election Day. So very big deal. That's a very big deal. So go to iwillvote.com for all the information you need, including when and where to vote and where to drop off your absentee ballot. But we need everyone to vote in Michigan. You will make the difference in this election. You will make the difference. You will make the difference. So I love you back. I love you back. So okay. So here's the thing. It all comes down to this. We are here together, this incredible mix of people from every background, every stage of life, under one roof together. And we are here together for many reasons, including because we love our country. We love our country. We love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. Fight for it. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, the expression of the love we have for our country, to then fight for its ideals and to fight to realize the promise of America. That's what we are about. That's what we are about.
She's off to a good start.
I have always believed in our nation's promise.
Actually, she's off to a good finish.
So I grew up as a child of the civil rights movement. My parents would take me to the marches when I was in a stroller. And there were people there, and history has told us, there were people there from every walk of life coming together to fight for freedom and for opportunity. You know, growing up, I saw how hard our mother worked to give her daughters the same chances.
Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. And what you can do is vote. Go vote if you haven't already. Tell other people in your friend circle to please go vote, etc., etc. We're looking at the reasons why tonight. We got, one second. We got dueling rallies. Kamala Harris versus some guy, super fashy. Don't care for him.
Today, I see the promise of America in everyone who is here. In all of you.
I heard some good things recently. No matter what, on Tuesday, we're going to be done with seeing campaign commercials.
And I see it in the fathers and the mothers and the grandparents.
You can't argue with that.
I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproduction.
And we're going to know if we can trust our neighbor. I'm kidding. We already know we can't.
I see it in the men that support them.
But we'll know how much work there is.
I see it in Republicans who have never voted for a Democrat before, but have put the Constitution of the United States above party.
Where are they having the Nazi rally tonight? Georgia.
And I see the promise of America.
Good for you. Cat 67 Cat. I voted. Excellent.
Who are here and voting for the first time.
So Kamala gives a good speech. I think it was funny that her name changed Kamala. Shout out to Gen Z. Good on you. Let her keep going.
And here's one of the things that I love about this generation, this incredible generation. You all are rightly impatient for change.
Yes.
I know that about you. And here's the thing, because you all have only known the climate crisis and are leading then the charge to protect our planet and our future. You who grew up with active shooter drills and are fighting to keep our schools safe. You who now know fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers, are standing up for freedom. None of these issues
wholeheartedly
for
agreed,
you
Cat 67.
are
Cat.
theoretical.
I love
This
Kamala's
is not
laughter as well.
political for you all.
Shade
This
Dragon,
is your
hello.
lived experience, and I see you, and I see your power, and I am so proud of you. Can we hear it for our first-time voters?
Hello, Bark Eater.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm telling you, this is why I know
between the moose and the beaver, I have a suspicion I know what country you might hail from.
I'm so optimistic about it. So, all right.
PNC
All right,
bio.
2 days.
Her speeches
We
are
have
too
2
short.
days to get this done.
I like 180 minutes with a good 40 swing finale.
And nobody can sit on the sidelines. Let's spend the next 2 days so that when we look back, we have no regrets that we did everything we could. So let's knock on doors, let's text, let's call the
I made
voters.
calls today.
Let's reach out to family, friends, classmates, neighbors, coworkers. And as we
I didn't think they'd let you do it on Sunday, but they sure did.
Everything else I've asked of you. Let's be true to what our campaign has been about from the very start, which is to be intentional about building community. Let's build community while we are doing this. Let's build community. And
I like that message.
Intentional about it.
In a moment, we're going to compare this to the rally in Georgia. Listen to the difference.
Because we know, look, there's been
building
so
community,
much about this last
working
decade
across the aisle,
that it's just
being a leader for every American.
The tenor of it has been to try and make people feel alone. To make people, and you know, when you make people feel alone, it's a way of trying to disempower people. To suggest to them you don't have people. To suggest to them you don't have community, which is not true. And that's why I say let's be intentional about, in the face of a stranger, seeing a neighbor and understanding that our power to lift each other up is immense. And let us do it with the spirit of knowing the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And we are all in this together. We are all in this together. Because, you know, from the very start, our campaign has not been about being against something. It is about being for something.
Just one moment.
A fight for a future with freedom, opportunity, and dignity for all Americans. And so in these final hours, let us remember that there is power in knowing that we are together. And let us remember that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. And you are powerful. And
this is the crucial power that all democracies have, the ability to vote. Go use it. She's right about that.
Are you ready to make your voices heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we believe in freedom?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but I oopsie doodles. You know, I can't play that song, but I'm glad she has it. You know, I think that actually works against the Democrats slightly. It's cool that they get, you know, popular people support them, musicians support them, people that work with the, you know, that have the love of millions because they speak to the souls of millions. Support them. That's all neat, but it's hell on copyright. Makes it really hard to stream their rallies. Yeah, standard, fine Democrat stuff. Good for her. Look at that. Election day. 1 day and 5 hours. 29 hours, 32 minutes, 7 seconds, gang. Oh, excuse me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's coming. Let's have a look at the alternative. I know a lot of folks on the left have correct beef with Democrats. I intend to explore that together. I intend to change the party, frankly, carve off a chunk of it for ourselves and go our own way. But first we got to win, because here's the alternative. Oh, wait. What can I drop here? Comments, people, comments. Trump was on the Epstein flight list. No, that's too. Oh, yeah, here we go. Trump lies about immigrants. Now that's not going to do it either. Oh, Trump wants to cut Social Security. There we go. Here's my contribution. Let's listen to former Trump press secretary and current governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
President, I re-enlisted in the military because of you. And the president said, and son, I'm here
Perfect.
because
Keep the
of
sound
you.
up.
An incredible moment.
A pebble into the acidic ocean, Jake.
And ladies and gentlemen, that young soldier deserves to know that he
Trump
has a country back home that is doing their part in the fight for freedom, that is doing their part in protecting it, preserving it, and making sure we have the ability to pass it on to the next generation. Donald Trump will be the president that does that.
That's too funny.
Now, my guess is each one of you are here tonight because you love America.
Well
and
done,
I hope
Jake.
that you will remember why you love America.
Yeah, Sarah Huckabee Sanders
America's
absolutely
the greatest country that the world has ever known, because we're the freest country the world has ever known, and we have to fight for that freedom.
That's a new thing for weight loss.
We have to protect it. And you have the ability to do that on Tuesday.
I'm about to lose quite a bit of weight myself. I have to. I literally have to. I'm not above doing Republican weight loss techniques, but I don't have the budget for that. I imagine weight loss pills are quite expensive. I have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is just leaning into my poorness, buying less groceries. Oh God. Wrestling, fun fact, is the one thing that has kept me from being full-on obese for the entirety of my life. Yeah, freedom except for the gays, the pregnant, the abused married. Oh, I did it the quick way by having a heart attack. Well, there you go. I'll just do that. It sounds a lot faster. Yeah, and freedom except for people that don't love their current job. Freedom except for anybody that isn't rich. There's truth be told, not a lot of freedom to go around in the Republican way of doing things. I'm not even interested in what monster they have up next. Here's what I'm looking for with Trump tonight. Verbal gaffe. I'm looking for the gaffe that ends his campaign tonight. I hope it happens. Oh, little Marco.
Wow, I have to follow that job. God.
It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard
So
to
great,
follow this.
What a great speech. What a great governor.
Zero
What a
charisma,
great delegation.
less than
What a great
actually
state
I'm a
you guys
charisma
are.
drain.
We're not far from you in Florida. I want to start. I'm going to be, this is a Trump rally, so we speak straight. I want to speak straight to you, okay?
What?
All right.
He
When
even
they called
says
me about
he
this
does
yesterday,
believe.
I want to
It's
be honest. When they
anything
said,
but
yeah, we're
straight.
doing this rally in Georgia, maybe you want to come up. It's not that far, you know. And I said, look, I don't know. I mean,
Let little Marco
right
go
now,
for a moment.
we're up 10-3 in the first half. And yeah. I said, I don't know if they're going to want to see me tomorrow over there, because right now my Florida Gators are eating the dogs. But they played the rest of the game, and Georgia went Georgia on us, and so I'm sure you're very happy to. For the fourth straight year, and so, but I said I gotta go. I have to be there. First of all, because they're going to be in a good mood, and second, because of what's truly at stake. Look, I thought I was going to come up here today and tell you about all the horrible things that are being said. I have never. I'll be honest. Look. There's always been bias in the media. I don't know if you guys know that. There's always been bias because, and I mean, bias exists because every human being is biased. Okay, I'm biased. Right?
Listen to him still trying to talk to old-fashioned.
I don't think we've ever seen what we've seen in the last 10 days. This is nothing but a full-scale effort to do everything you possibly can at virtually every major media outlet in America to depress and suppress Republican votes and Trump voters, and to
So let's just always remember to tell people when they say this lie that the media is against Trump. Fox News is the biggest media outlet there is right now. Fox is the highest rated television media that exists. Fox is propaganda for the Republican Party. They actually have no journalistic ethics whatsoever. In court, they have admitted to Tucker Carlson's show not being something that a reasonable viewer should consider news. They used that to get out of a lawsuit for lies they told. But eventually they told such lies throughout the channel that they lost over $700 million in a settlement to Dominion. So when you hear liars like that say that the media is coming out against Trump, understand that they are just whining. Understand that they are trying to get you and anybody who hears them to ignore critical stories. In other words, ignore facts that make them look bad. In other words, pretend like they don't do the evil things they do, say the evil things they say, and plan the evil plans that they have. That's what they're doing.
All right.
Let's go back.
So, by the way, I want to make clear, Mark Cuban is not Cuban, okay? In the world where anyone from anywhere could achieve anything by working hard and playing by the rules. And I'm telling you guys, as someone, I don't know, I never lived in another country, but I lived surrounded by people that did. And the people who have come from other places and
online they are
like outside of Americans, they're the first ones to tell you, do you guys have any idea how special, how unique, how extraordinary the country that you have is? How extraordinary and special the United States is. And it is something that I think have been instilled in me my entire life, but it's what propelled me to want to serve in public office. And it's what I fear is at stake and what we're losing. Not because our people are the greatest people in the world. We're still the great people, capable of extraordinary things.
No, we're not. Well, yeah, we are.
But we've been led by people who have led us on the wrong path, the path of decline, the path of destruction.
True. Republicans.
And we have a candidate running for president that at its core, what his message is, it's the most straightforward message you can ever have. What is the message of Donald Trump's campaign? He wants to make America great again.
The Jews. That's the message of his campaign. Well, it's actually kill the minorities.
How is that offensive? How is that outrageous?
Oh, because it was originally a Nazi slogan.
The number one job of the United States government is to serve the American people and put them above anything else. When did that become offensive? That's common sense, and we need that again. We need a government led by people with a president that puts you before anything or anyone else.
So he's doing this stuff. How could that be offensive? How could that possibly be offensive? In the wake of holding a rally at Madison Square Garden, the same place that the Nazis held a rally, and calling it the America First rally. That's what the Nazis called that rally, the America First rally. Named the same thing. During that rally, a comedian got up on stage that was invited there by the Trump campaign and said that Puerto Rico's an island of garbage, black people love watermelon, Palestinians throw rocks, and Jews have a hard time letting go of money. That's something their comedian said. A bunch of other hateful rhetoric was said at that rally, including by the candidate themselves. And it was on par with all that other stuff, including calling all immigrants illegals if they're not, British. And he asks, well, how can this be considered a hateful organization? Well, all right, that's all messaging. That's just their hateful messaging. Let's look at their actual policy. Trump got a Muslim ban put in place. If your religion is Muslim and you try to come to America under Trump, that was a no-go, automatic rejection. And then courts made him water it down. So, you're just put on a list. The government puts you on a list and tracks you based on your religion. Joe Biden undid that. God bless him. Trump has said as part of his campaign, he's bringing it back. Under Trump, immigrant families got separated, some forever. Thousands, let me say that again in case you didn't hear it in the back, thousands of children were separated from their parents. They were sleeping in cages with foil for blankets. That's what Trump chose to do. That's how Trump chose to handle the immigration situation, is to steal children, little immigrant children. How can you consider that racist? Because that's what it is. That's what it is. How can you not consider this movement, this whole movement, racist? Because it's embarrassing to admit it. But the time has come where you must. History will note the decision you make on Tuesday. And your life will be judged by the decision you make on Tuesday. Future generations will count you amongst the heroes or the villains. And you know what side you'll be on. If you go for Trump, you know what that'll mean. It ain't a hero. Be clear-eyed about this. Don't let yourself or any of your family members think, well, maybe this is just my villain arc, but I'll come around later. No. Tuesday will be the day where your character is recorded for all future generations. And I'll tell you, if you worry about how you'll be remembered at all, if you worry about how you'll live on. The generations that have to deal with global warming, or the generations that have to repair the mess you made of immigration, or the U.S.'s reputation around the world, or the generations that had to wrestle back control from the super rich because you gave it to them, they will not remember you fondly. It's a pretty easy choice coming up. It's actually not very difficult at all. You vote for Harris because she's a decent human being, and this is the worst parts of America gathered together. You know, recently I've come to the realization that I am the worst that I'm a part of. That kind of hurts to know. But for example, I'd like to apologize. I'd like to apologize for the way I've spoken to people across the aisle recently, but I can't because I don't mean it right now. And I think not unlike Joe Biden, who called the people that were applauding Tony Hinchcliffe's wretched comments about Puerto Ricans garbage, I meant what I said. I think he did too. But here's the thing.
And I'm actually a little bummed out more people weren't offended.
I'm like, if the shoe fits, lace that bitch up and run.
Just my feelings. But here's the thing. You're not locked in yet necessarily. And it'll be damn interesting if you end up coming around to the side of the Angels. I'd want to hear from you then. But I tell you, I'm not very interested in the opinions of people that know they're hurting people and choose to do it anyway. She's right. Yeah. Heck yes. Bark, eat, or den. I'm in New York, voted early, and got to write in Free Palestine. All right. Hopefully for someone holding their nose when they vote in Michigan. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't mess around with that. No one's going to care. No one. I mean, I'm not trying to shame you here. You sound like you've come to a well thought out conclusion, and I appreciate that. I offer a counterpoint, which is to say, no one's going to sit around and tally how many people didn't vote for Kamala Harris because of a specific political issue. In this case, the political. Hey, you know what? As I say that out loud, maybe that's exactly what they will do. Maybe they will measure the amount of third party or write-in candidates. All right, no, withdrawn. I still wouldn't mess around with it because I'm not confident of that. But as I say it out loud, as I was trying to offer a constructive criticism, I realized that might actually be a factor that helps us do what must be done next, which is take, hopefully, a President Harris and turn her into a decent leader. We have no chance. We just have no chance with Trump. He will not do anything of value. But maybe we can with Harris. And if we have a lot of people in solid blue states doing that, yeah, as you say, they'll see the percent of write-ins and undervotes. Yeah, if we have a big enough percent, like the other end of the uncommitted vote, that might be a valuable tool. All right, I withdraw my nitpicking. Yeah, that was voting in New York. I would have voted for her, but on the Working Families Party line. All right, fair enough. All right, let's hear what this generic honky has to say. The other one.
So please, please, please go vote. Get your friends to vote. Get your family to vote. I've said it many times. If you don't have a friend, go make one between now and Tuesday. Get them to vote. God bless you, and let's make President Trump 45 the number 47 in this country. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Heisman Trophy winner and football legend,
Herschel Walker. Werewolves of Georgia. Good to see you.
Try to be best, 'cause you're only a man, and a man's got to learn.
I had to cut the audio.
Hello there.
Why would they ask him to come speak? He was not a very popular candidate. We just got to let him cook.
Hey.
This is going to be too funny.
Hey, God is good, isn't he? Yes. So hello there, Macon. Hello there. I want to tell you, I grew up about 60 miles from here, and I said about 60 miles because I don't want anyone fact-checking me and know that there's a little bit more. And about 40 years ago, I met a young man that was just the way I grew up. He loved his family, and he loved this great country. And we hit it off. That young man was Donald J. Trump. Today, we both are a little bit older, but we both still have good hair. And I can tell you 40 years ago, President Trump hasn't changed. He still loves his family, loves his country, and we're still friends. But our founding fathers risked everything when they stood up to the king. And men and women in our military sacrificed their life to help protect
Trump was my age
what our
when
founding father gave
I'm not a
us.
young man, but all right.
And you know, Donald Trump is cut from the same cloth.
What?
He has sacrificed a lot for this country. And in so many ways.
It really he made money off being president.
When I did hear them insult
he
him
literally dodged the draft
with all these names. One of them, they call him a racist.
Well,
oh yes, well, no. Wait.
Lace that.
And if y'all haven't noticed, I'm black.
Run. Which means no one I like is a racist.
But I've had some people on the left that said that I wasn't black.
All right, Bark Eater. U.S. Air Force vet here. I missed the country.
And now they've thrown all these bogus lawsuits after me, trying to bankrupt me. And they've tried to throw him in jail. And you,
good. Remind people of the many crimes he's committed.
They've had people to take shots at him,
including
try to kill him.
Treason. Oh, those people were Republicans.
But man can't stop what God got in store for you. So let us not let Donald Trump down, because he's not going to let us down.
When has he ever not let someone down?
Donald Trump times in office,
he hasn't even paid the bills
economy.
For his tour. He's not going to pay the bill for this place tonight.
Crime was down. There was no men and women's sports.
Literally,
in other countries,
the opposite is true.
Respected
crime
us.
went through the roof during.
Now think about this. Would you like for me to compete against your daughter? And many of you may not know, I'm back in school at the University of Georgia. And I was on campus when Laken Riley was killed. And she was killed from an illegal gang member because of the Biden-Harris weak or no border policy. While Donald Trump can't bring Laken back, but he can help her family and help us to stop this illegal.
Let me point something out to you.
And he can help
the
us
Republicans
to
say
stop all the
that we've got thousands and thousands of people coming across the border every single day.
We need to have Donald Trump's back.
And they are also scouring the news constantly.
And then we can take our country
police
back.
blotters everywhere they can go for stories of immigrants
And
creating
I've
crime.
heard our opponent call
How come during this whole year-long marathon of elections, with thousands of immigrants coming across the border every day, they could only find 2
because in the great book that I read,
to talk about?
it
Just
said no
2
weapon
this whole
formed
time.
against me shall prosper.
What does that tell you
And
per capita about the immigrants coming across the border?
they wanted to fact check me.
They're not.
That is in Isaiah
They're just
54:17.
looking for a
And
home,
as Michael Jackson
willing to work.
said in his song, The Man in the Mirror,
Okay.
that we can make a change.
Quote some
But
pop
that
culture,
change is
Herschel.
gonna
That always
come
works out well for me.
if y'all get out and vote. So if you haven't voted, you need to get to the polls.
Or just hang
right
out
away.
home. If you think
as
he's
Bert
persuasive,
said,
remember
bring
to
a friend,
vote 2 weeks
bring a
from
relative,
today.
bring whoever, because
And
we
buy a
have to
bridge
take
and
our
vote.
country back. And Donald Trump is not just
I'm
my
kidding.
friend.
Election day is Tuesday.
He's
Just
your
don't
friend.
vote for those people.
And it is time for us to step up to the plate. It is not time for us to sit on the sideline anymore. Because when you see what they're doing to this country, you say it's a dying shame. And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr.
He's neither of your
Donald
friends,
Trump,
but he is,
Donald J.
according
Trump.
to Jeffrey Epstein, a long-time friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Almost guessed right the first time. Oh, now we have a weird walk. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. According to the recordings that Michael Wolff got that just came out, in interviews with Jeffrey Epstein, they were longtime friends. Now, we can't just take Epstein's word for it. So we could look at pictures of Trump and Epstein. Let's get very specific. At Mar-a-Lago. Here we go. There we go. Trump, Epstein, at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, Trump, Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. But I mean, surely that was when they were much younger. Trump, Epstein. Well, that's just Trump groping a gal. That's the same picture of Trump and Epstein. Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump, Epstein, some creepy motherfucker. Trump, Epstein's girlfriend. Trump, Epstein's girlfriend. Oh, why is she in so many pictures with him? Well, that'll be because they recruited children out of Mar-a-Lago. Go look it up. The club Trump hangs out at to this day is home to some of his fondest memories of molesting children. You don't have to love Harris. I'm not asking you to agree with me on every policy. I don't love every policy of Kamala Harris. Don't vote for the diddler. Don't let him get into power. We have to be better than that. We just have to be. Don't let these dunces sully the reputation of this country further. I heard someone from the UK on Sandy's show earlier today, and they said they were effing sick of America. And I don't blame them. And I'm glad they said it. I understand that a lot of us, particularly the people in this crowd, not that crowd, but this crowd, have been working hard to make America a better place. I think it is healthy, however, for Americans to hear that the rest of the world is getting sick of our nonsense. We are not the mecca of culture we used to be. And in large part, it's because everything that's decent about us gets spoiled by the presence of conservatives. Conservatives ruin a dance trend. When a conservative starts sharing a meme, you know the meme is no longer cool. They also happen to be terrible for the planet, supporters of murder around the world. They allow themselves to stay ignorant, even when facts are presented to them on a silver platter by well-meaning people who are trying to help them. They allow themselves to remain ignorant because it's easier for them, perhaps more satisfying to them, to stay ignorant than it is to even consider changing their culture, which is trash. And they're dragging us down with it. You don't have to be part of that group. Even if you were part of that group your whole life up until just this moment, you don't have to be part of that group. I'm voting Democrat this time. I'm hoping like hell I won't have to be Democrat next time. And I'm asking you to join me in that group. Reluctantly voting for a party which is at least respectable. At least has some measure of a serious plan for running a country, one that will listen to its people, one that does not blatantly break the law, one which can admit when it loses. Join me in voting for that so that we can build something better together. Or F it, if we want apart, it's fine. Just don't support this trash anymore. And when you hear people around the world saying they're getting sick of America, understand why that is. And understand that there is a finite amount of patience to be had for one particularly rich country's nonsense. PNC Bio, the diddler, that's what I'm calling him from here on out. Good. I am sure that is true, but the alternative is way scarier. Oh, I don't follow. Wait. What did Shade Dragon say? Oh, it looks like we got it going. Diddler sounds like the worst DC villain. Oh, it is. It's the worst real life villain. Yeah, they just thought it before. All the horrible things they're saying. They're just actually saying it now. This has always been what it is. This has always been who the Republicans have been. We've known it. It's just been impolite to say it because they haven't been as blatant about it. And all their various little slips got written off as, oh, that was just a moment. That was a temporary thing. Well, now we see that's not so. Well, Donald James X, good to see you, my friend. Why? It's a dangerous thing to leave the Discord open, I tell you. I'm getting a message for Adrian Vixen in Letterhead's chat. See, I don't get that. All right. Well, they're waiting for Trump to speak. He's a half hour late, but that's okay. Dress up as Trump, never. And if anybody asks what you are, to say, this is my costume for the worst superhero ever, quote, the diddler. Fair enough. Food coming. I'm jealous. I'm on restricted calories. What I was saying earlier, wrestling is the only reason I am not blatantly obese. My whole life, I have eaten pizza by the pie. When I order it for a group setting, I order myself one large pizza and then begin to order for others. But the downside is that is not muscle I'm putting on. And when it comes time to actually hustle, I feel it. I surely do feel it. And of late, I have been back in the sport, and it feels like having a little bitty heart attack every time I try to move my big fat body around the mat. Cheeseburger, yeah. Oh yeah. I'll come at a Burger King like get ready to be overthrown because the burger tyrant is here. Had I known about carbs when I was wrestling in high school, like I did a decade later, I probably would have wrestled in at 135 instead of 191 pounds. I mean, I will say this: when you're actually doing it, like like judo, just has 3-minute matches. During it's a tiring 3 minutes, but during those 3 minutes, I like the fat. I do like it because it's more for the opponent to move around. I get to be like, ha, 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 ha. It's just if you have multiple matches, you start to be like, and they're like, "Sir, we've just opened the door. You walked up 5 stairs. You should go to a hospital." I'm like, "Shut up. I'm here to conquer." Oh, and that's mostly acid reflux. I'm out of shape. You aren't alone, Jake. I did that in my 20s. Yeah, I should have stopped doing that in my 20s. But I've chosen to live fast and leave behind a wretched corpse. Live fast, die young, and leave a gross, sweaty, husky, mildly smelling like a mix of old shoe leather and milk corpse. Good, Shade Dragon. It's okay. I don't have much of an appetite lately. I can afford to lose the weight. Jake was a wrestler, yes, judo, yeah, and a wrestling coach as well. It's one of the few hobbies that I have that I got good enough at to teach, and I adore it. Bury me in polyester, hell yeah, hell yeah. You could get a goiter on your thyroid that pushes your adrenaline up and your weight down. I like the diet tips we've been getting on the channel tonight. I hesitate to call them health tips. I wouldn't want anybody to get the wrong impression, but definitely diet tips. We've had things like have a heart attack. Smart. The weight's gonna fall right off after surgery. Oh yeah, your body's gonna need lots of calories to try to desperately survive. Get a goiter on your thyroid. Yeah. Lick some doorknobs, see if you can get a real challenging disease for your body to try to fight off. Oh, it's great weight loss advice. Really, AC. This is turning into a very different stream. This is the third time I've lost 50 pounds or more just restricting my carbohydrates. You didn't say just. Or more, restricting my carbohydrates. Noted. That sounds much healthier. And then I'm going to do one last health-related one. Using under 1,500 milligrams of sodium has been an adventure. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Oh, whoa, Donald James, member for a year. Thank you, my friend. I just came from Sandy's stream. She's still on, where I called in and asked, how do you cope in the event that Trump wins? I want to ask here also. It's a great question. So here's the deal. We have the same job in front of us, whether Trump wins or Kamala Harris wins. It's just much easier if Harris wins. But ultimately, it is the same job. Here's what we have to do. We have to get representatives voting for the things we want done. Trump will probably veto legislation that we like, which means we have to have the doubly difficult task of passing that legislation twice. He cannot veto something twice. If it makes it through Congress twice, he has to sign it. No choice. That's it. That's how we cope, is we focus on the legislation we want to pass. It does mean we will have missed a major opportunity. There's an opportunity here. And MAGA, if you're listening, I want you to appreciate what we've got. There's an opportunity here to establish once and for all that the president is not above the law. If Trump wins, he's going to pardon himself or just order the DOJ to drop cases against him. Forget how you feel about Trump for a moment. And just think about how you feel about Biden, how you felt about Obama, how you felt about President Clinton. All of those, actually, shockingly, to my knowledge, not Clinton, but everybody else in that list has done things which I think are worthy of prosecution. But under the rules Trump has set up, it's becoming increasingly difficult to prosecute them. Under the rules Republicans have set since Nixon, it's becoming increasingly difficult to prosecute the president. If we're going to roll anything back, if we're going to make America great again in any way, let it be that. Let it be the pre-Nixon rules for the president as it pertains to crime and punishment. We will miss out, if Trump wins, on an opportunity to finally demonstrate that the president is not above the law. And in order to get such an opportunity, we first have to endure incredible hardship countrywide. We need to endure a criminal president. I don't want to be sitting around hoping for the next criminal president so we get an opportunity to put a president through the court system. I don't want to do that. That's going to be hard. That's going to be hard to deal with if Trump wins. But we can at least use it as an opportunity to show right-wingers how corrupt the Republican Party is, to show MAGA how corrupt their guy is, so that the next time around, the next time it's election time, because Trump will croak eventually. Look at how he lives. Look at how he's having harder and harder trouble walking or finishing a sentence. He will croak eventually. We look at the silver lining of, we know Trump's going to do something corrupt. We can call it for MAGA folks, and we can say, look at the opportunity we're losing here. And I know you thought Trump did nothing wrong. We could have demonstrated that in a courtroom, but Trump simply said, nope, you have to cancel this. You have to stop. Welcome to what it feels like to have Obama, MAGA. He had a guy promising change. He had tons of energy, unprecedented up until that point, energy coming out in support of it. And he was promising you revolutionary change. What did you get? Not that. It happened to us 8 years earlier. Now 16, good God. 16 years earlier. With Obama. So those are the things. We still concentrate. If Trump wins, we appreciate that we're not changing the plan. We still, oh, I didn't mean to do that just yet. We're not changing the plan. We still concentrate on passing bills. We still advocate to the left and the right for the bills we want passed, and we talk to the constituents of individual representatives. And we use it as an opportunity to point out what is wrong with, frankly, the Republican Party. And I think a change is on its way. Whether we make it a great change, a good change, or a just okay change, or a kind of bad change that eventually turns into something good, it's coming. Because the support for Democrats and Republicans is pretty much AstroTurf at this point. That's my answer. We accept that it's going to be harder, in short, but it is still the same plan. Also, let me give you this as a piece of consolation. If it happens, and I actually don't think it will, but if it does, Trump doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care about you. It's easy to think that Trump hates you, but that's giving ourselves too much credit. He's giving him way too much credit. He doesn't care about any of us. All he wants is to be wealthy and famous and popular. If this dude goes into office and simply cancels all of his ongoing trials with a stroke of a pen, he will still want to be loved. And we can manipulate him because he's easily manipulated into signing things that his own party hates. Will it work often? No. Will he sign the best things that we want? No. But he will occasionally forget to check with the people that actually track the ideology of things. And through absent-mindedness, cause a gigantic stir in the Republican Party. And that will be very, very funny. But yeah, we know all the bad stuff. Everything Shade Dragon says is true. I don't know about they didn't vote for him and all that. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. But at the same time, we cope with it by focusing on what is good, or rather what we can do. Sandy was saying that Trump doesn't care about policy except for tax cuts, but the GOP he's enabling to carry out and implement Project 2025. Oh, yeah, and he's going to get Supreme Court seats. He's definitely going to get Supreme Court seats. Like a ton of awful stuff is going to happen, but that's not good news. But it's not worth worrying about because at that point we can't do anything. Right now is when we can do things to stop it. We won't be able. I mean, he's going to really turn the U.S. government into a shell of its former self. But it doesn't mean there's nothing we can do. And it doesn't mean we can't eventually turn it against him. If he does turn it into a dictatorship, he's 78 and out of shape. And if we get put in power after him, turn around and be like, okay, well, as long as we have arbitrary control over everything, first, we're going to outlaw gasoline cars. Second, we're going to say the minimum wage is $20 an hour, and we're not going to vote on it. If any of the senators fail to write this law, I'll shoot them. And after that, after those things are done, then I'm going to return the American law books to what they were in 2023. It's possible that a Trump administration causes a significant brain drain to make things not go like they would like them to. Also totally possible. Nina Canadian, I'm in the mood for watching the January 6th hearings again. Those were good summer days. Watching footage and testimony with friends over Discord. Yeah. Hey, look, great news for you. We haven't really talked about it because this is the thing that matters most right now. But all the criminal trials assuming Trump loses on Tuesday, all the criminal trials are about to kick off in a very big way. Coming right up, there is evidence galore that's going to be put in front of we the people, which includes you the people, our friends, because it'll be public and you'll be able to see it. Good. We're going to have January 6th hearings 2.0. The difference will be there's an actual judge in charge this time. It's going to be fantastic. Let me... Oh, yeah. Actual cloud. While we wait for Trump to get started, I did want to play something from an actual cloud. Let me set this up first. Oh, I've got it all ready to go. Look at that. Hold up, gang. Editing the video. So, our friend, an actual cloud, has been doing a great job of just tracking basically Trump bastardry. Here's a video they did called Catalog of Trump White Supremacy. I put the link in the description. Feel free to give them a click and a like. I know they'd appreciate that. Let's listen to a little bit of it together while we wait for this punk to come on stage.
On two of the many occasions that Trump was pretending that his crowd sizes were large, he compared them to Hitler's crowd sizes. In an article published years before Trump ran for president, before there would be any possible reason for someone to do a politically motivated hit job on him, Trump's ex-wife Ivana told the reporter that a Trump employee would click his heels and say Heil Hitler when he visited Trump in his office. Maybe that was just a joke. In any case, the reporter confronted Trump with information that she had gathered, that Trump had received a book of Hitler's speeches titled My New Order. Trump replied that he didn't get Hitler's speeches book, but instead got a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf from his friend Marty Davis, who Trump said was Jewish. Mein Kampf is not a collection of speeches, but instead an autobiographical manifesto. If one wanted to learn how to use propaganda and racist speeches in an attempt to gain power, studying My New Order, Hitler's speeches, would probably be the more helpful of the two to read. Mr. Davis was interviewed about this and said that 1, he wasn't Jewish, and 2, that the book he gave Trump was not Mein Kampf, but the book of Hitler's speeches called My New Order. Trump's ex-wife, Ivana, told her lawyer that from time to time, Trump would read the book of Hitler's speeches, which he kept in a cabinet by his bed. Later, Trump returned to this subject, saying, if I had the speeches, and I am not saying that I do, I would never read them. That's weird, right? That he probably did read Hitler's speeches and worked so hard to deny it. I wonder why. During the 2016 GOP primary race, Trump was criticized for using language reminiscent of Hitler's. In response, Trump repeated some of those words, saying that immigrants were, quote, poisoning the blood of our country. He then mentioned to his audience that he had gotten some criticism for using those words by saying, quote, they said Hitler said that. And then later saying, quote, it's true. They're destroying the blood of the country. They're destroying the fabric of our country, and we're going to have to get them out. So his response to being accused of echoing Hitler's rhetoric was essentially to say, yep. According to retired Marine General John Kelly, Trump's chief of staff at the time, Trump asked him, why can't you be like the German generals? Kelly explained to Trump that those generals tried to kill Hitler 3 times and almost pulled it off. Trump did not reconsider his view, saying, quote, "No, no, no, they were totally loyal to him." Kelly said that Trump expressed disbelief when told that American military personnel swear an oath to the Constitution, not to the president. Kelly said that Trump praised aspects of Hitler's leadership and recalled Trump saying, quote, "Well, but Hitler did some good things." Trump has endorsed Mark Robinson for governor of North Carolina. On a forum on a porn site, Mark Robinson called himself a, quote, "black Nazi," and said he wished slavery would return and that he would, quote, "certainly buy a few." He's described homosexuality as filth. He's called Muslims invaders, and he said feminism was watered by the devil.
El Martinez.
In November 2020, Trump hosted a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, and Nick Fuentes. Ye is anti-Semitic. Here are a sampling of quotes that he made before the dinner. "We're not..."
We'll get to the Ye quotes. But Donald James X, true. I just feel like on the eve of the election, this is a good thing for an actual cloud to review for America. Like, hey, all this stuff happened. This is who we're talking about. This is not a guy who's worthy of consideration for a job at the post office. He ought not to be dog catcher. You literally could not trust him with anything because he's walking around hanging out with people on a white supremacy kick. I don't even know if Ye still considers himself a Nazi, but he's hanging out with Nick Fuentes. He's banning Muslims. He's calling all immigrants, quote unquote, illegals. He's trying to kill Social Security. There's just like any angle you look at this guy from is terrible. He's just a terrible wretch of a creature, and we ought to highlight that. Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry I was slagging on California before, man. It occurred to me after my last stream that I actually do know and like someone from California quite a bit. That's you, buddy. I'm sorry. Like my slagging of Nebraska. I didn't mean it on California. You guys are a blue stalwart. Also, oh yeah, these guys are all Fredo. Yeah, the Republican Party is like an entire party of Fredos from The Godfather. That's pretty well put. Shade Dragon, they think they're all Don, but they're all Fredo. Most of all, ironically, the one actually named Don. Yeah. I'm from California. I'm California chopped liver. Yeah, but I don't like you, Shade Dragon. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't know you were from California. So that's 2 points in California's favor. You now officially have balanced out the roommates I had on that school trip. I hope Ye is getting the care he needs for his obvious public mental breakdown. Yeah, dude, seriously, me too. Like, I don't think Kanye is a saint. Obviously. I think it was pretty darn, whatever his reasons, pretty darn sinister that he chose to make the lives of Jewish people harder. But I also think it's no secret that his behavior is not entirely within his control. And it's really sad to see that even with all the resources in the world, he's having real mental health struggles. And it's just sad. I'm with you, Pink. I hope he gets that help. Paul, as in Atkinson. Hey! What's up, Paul Atkinson? Good to see you. We're just bracing for One hell of an election. I'm really sorry it's this again. It is embarrassing. We're gonna, hey man, we're gonna try to do better next time. We're gonna try to not freak out the entire world by being like, yeah, we might give control of the nukes to I will say this. Interacting, and this was a topic we talked about a little bit earlier. Interacting with people from other countries is very good for Americans right now. Thank you for hanging out with us for a bit, man. Because I think Americans need an outside perspective. I think it's good for us to hear that people are sick of this nonsense. Jersey Texan, good to see you. Paul Atkinson, we're going to be drinking on Tuesday evening. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to join you. I'm going to get a 30-pack of Red Dog. Oof. And either drink it in joy or sadness. I'll tell you this. After the results come in, after, I'm going to the tone of this, the live stream might change significantly. Holding it down in Texas, hell yeah. I mean, that money kind of makes it harder because there's enough people around you that will enable you for their own benefit. That's super sad. It's correct. Yeah, we are concerned. Hopeful but concerned. Me too, dude. Fudging frig. Hey, but at least there's this. The U.S. has been enduring this corruption for a long time. Like we've had this evil as one of the string pullers in our government for its entire existence, frankly. The clownishness of it these days has just made it obvious. And I think the reckoning is coming. Now, this is interesting. Oh, wait a minute. First, Cat67 Cat. Fair enough with suspicion there. What's a Red Dog? That's that is beer made around here. I'd be shocked if they haven't gone out of business. I haven't actually purchased alcohol since the last hotel trip I did. But at least when I was in college, that was a beer made around here. And it is, as far as I've seen, the cheapest beer ever made. Whenever I drink it, it makes my jaw feel like there's pins sticking into it. It's really barely considered edible. And I love it. Well, there's also Mad Dog. Oh, yeah. I do the same thing, man. Oh, I keep wanting to catch a show and I keep sleeping in. These characters keep me up late. So unfortunately, I was able to switch my schedule a little bit. Good. Oh, yeah, you said something earlier. So actually, says the AC, I think that with proper pushes, we could turn both Texas and Florida blue. I don't know if they would stay blue. Ellipsis. They're pretty blocked down and gerrymandered. Well, that's true. But I tend to agree with you. Frankly, I think any state is not that far from turning blue with the right candidate. I think this is the last time that Americans from either side are going to be willing to put up with this political system. That's the sense I get from both Republicans and psychopaths. We're sick of it. We're as sick of it at least as the world is sick of hearing about us going through this stuff. It's not fun to live it either. Neighbors don't get along. It intrudes upon our lives. If nothing else, you can bet on American laziness, and we don't like being bothered this much. It's everywhere, and everything we do is tainted by politics, and we're sick of it. We just are. So I think a significant change is going to come, not even because out of a sense of justice, like it should have, or out of a sense of self-preservation, like it should have, but simply out of a sense of wanting to have lives that aren't miserable. Just that. Have you ever had Genesee Cream Ale? Cheapest and possibly the worst beer I've ever consumed. But hey, $3.99 for a 12-pack is a must for a Canadian, eh? Hell yeah, dude. I'll take a whack at it. I have a special. I love the cheapest version of cheap things. It's like a special category of things I love. I'd love to try it. The Republicans in power in Texas, says Pinkerbell, know they are losing support. They have been crying a lot about Californians moving here and living up the place. Ha! Ha! Jenny Screamers. Hey, don't knock him. Fair enough. Bark, eater, den. You are such a confusing person to me. I can't tell. You said you were from the Adirondacks. But maybe that's just where you are now. I would think redistricting is a bigger problem. Yeah, maybe. Look, in about 6 years. 6 years? Hold on. Yeah, in 6 years, we will have another census. Let's make sure the Republicans don't undercount Spanish speakers this time. Del Martinez, my neighbors are from California and they are conservative. I've been here all my life and I'm progressive. Shit's wild. Yeah, it's a wild place. Yeah. I just feel like I get all kinds of vibes. I like them. I like those vibes. But I get all kinds once. Bella Lugrisi. Genesee had the distinction of not tasting any different when the keg ran out of ice the next day. Ha! I'm in the Lake George, Saratoga part of the Adirondacks. All right, cool. Groovy. Let's keep this video going for a little bit because we still have a blank stage at the Trump rally.
Not going to be owned by the Jewish media anymore. Obama was actually just another Jewish president. Jewish people have owned the black voice.
Let me just, Paul, these are Kanye quotes. This is not an actual cloud, the guy whose video we're watching. He's just pointing out who Trump chose to associate with. It was an awkward time to play that.
Fuentes has been labeled a white supremacist by the Justice Department. It has been reported that Trump wasn't aware that Fuentes was going to be at the dinner. However, Trump hasn't denounced or criticized Fuentes as one would expect a reasonable non-racist to do. In a 2020 debate with Biden, Trump told the extremist hate group the Proud Boys, whose founder has a history of anti-Semitic remarks, to, quote, stand back and stand by. In 2017, Trump said there were, quote, very fine people, about a group of protesters that were protesting in favor of Confederate statues, chanting Nazi slogans translated into English.
I mean, let me tell you, if I could go back and redo the last 6 months worth of content, I would probably just try to make that video that an actual cloud did a couple of times. I don't know, entertainment is such a fickle thing. I'm, as Paul Atkinson is well aware of, I'm constantly searching for what will entertain people in this political realm. But what people need to hear is this. I like that it's condensed. Fact after fact after fact. That's the way to deal with the modern Republican Party, which does a gish gallop of scandals to keep the media occupied. Just sum them up like that, right to the point. Really well done in actual cloud. Hey, there. Speak of the devil. Oh, you guys are watching my video. Yeah, we just decided let's have a gander. Ooh, who didn't have enough money to really impress Trump? How long are they going to wait for Le Orange one? Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that an interesting question? Oh. Oh. All right, hold up. I'm just going to put the volume on slightly. Quite a while, apparently. Yeah, Bark Eater Den. A lot of imported Russian Gish Gallop to enjoy. Ooh, an actual cloud. The next part is good/bad. Okay. Well, let's have a listen.
Protesters that ended up killing someone by running over.
Ooh. Side note, I really like the music playing in the background.
Over them with a car. In response to that event, GOP Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, in a time when not all elected Republicans worshiped Trump, made a statement, quote, "White supremacy is repulsive. This bigotry is counter to all this country stands for."
Even Paul Ryan could do it.
Trump wouldn't stand for that. He phoned Ryan and screamed that Ryan wasn't, quote, "in the foxhole with me." These people love me. These are my people. And I can't backstab the people who support me.
Oh, we're hanging out with Nazis. Speaking of.
In just 2 days, the great state of Georgia is going to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House.
No, they aren't. They didn't last time either. Instead of letting Himmler speak here, I'm just going to talk over him and tell you who he is. This guy is a straight up white nationalist.
Humiliation abroad, embarrassment at home, degradation, abuse, censorship, and betrayal of the highest order. You're going to end it all, and you are going to send Donald J. Trump to the Oval Office to clean up Washington, to restore America, and to put America first.
Doesn't he sound like he's having a tantrum? And to put America first.
State, a beautiful, incredible young woman was stolen from her family and stolen from her loved ones by Kamala Harris.
Oh my God. I mean, just the way he talks. It's like they're not even trying to hide that they want to make people angry. Just look at the emotions that they rely upon for their audience. Even when it's laughter, it's laughter from cruelty. It's laughter by making fun of somebody else. But most of the time, it's this nonsense. It's get angry about this. Get afraid of that. This is not what an architect does. This is what an arsonist does. They cannot build. They can only burn. And they need you to be afraid to vote for him. They need you to be thinking irrationally to vote for him, because it's an irrational thing to vote for a Republican in 2024. Look at what they've become. What does that tell you about what they were and what they will always be? They are not a party with the interests of their constituents in mind. They are snake oil salesmen. They exist only to trick people into giving them power. It is like making a deal with the devil. Believe me when I tell you I would like it not to be so. I wish the conservative party in America was one that just had conservative values and tried to come up with plans to help us based off those values. That is not what the Republican Party is now or has ever been. And in the past, they did a better job of pretending that wasn't so. But now they have this.
Fight. Now it's your turn, Georgia. You need to fight. You need to dig in. You need to work for 2 more days. You need to get your
Telling
friends,
you
your
to
family,
fight.
your coworkers, everyone you know in this world. And you need to say, we're
Always
going to
that,
flood the
never
polls
anything
on
else.
Tuesday as
Fighting
this
in and
nation
of
has
itself
never
isn't
seen.
horrible.
And we are going to deliver
Fighting
a
other
margin with Donald
Americans,
Trump,
yes, it is.
because we're going to show
Saying
Kamala
that after
Harris
your party,
that
your
she
candidate
is not the future.
did
You are the
January
future.
6th,
Donald
yeah.
Trump is the future. America is going to reclaim its
Trump is
destiny.
literally the past.
Donald
He
J.
was
Trump
the
is the
45th
candidate of
president.
destiny. And I believe, like all of you, I believe in fate. I believe in destiny. I believe that God.
Also, don't you get sick of them telling you what you believe? Bring that up the next time you hear somebody or see somebody watching one of these speeches. Don't you get sick of them telling you what you believe? Isn't that just a little bit insulting? I'm sick of somebody going up there and saying, and you know it. It's presumptuous. It's arrogant. The sort of thing nobles do to their serfs is tell them what their opinion is. Putting it in the gentlest way it deserves to be put is Pinkerbell. God, what a sniveling little pinhead fuck. Yeah. Bob Carmody. Oh, Jake, one of my pet peeves. Yeah. I despise that. Shade Dragon, there are more pagans in the U.S. than Lutherans. They're not really capturing the non-Christian vote. I would say, yeah. Tell Martinez, you're killing it tonight. You're like a little mini pocket dictator. Yeah. Bark Eater Den, we all know, yeah. Don't tell me what I believe. Yeah. Yeah, again, says Pinkerbell, compare the vibes. Angry versus uplifting and aspirational. Yeah. I do believe this is, well, they're all traitors that have spoken tonight. No way do they have permission to use these songs.
What an amazing fired up crowd. Of course, Stephen Miller just got you fired up. I think you're a little bit excited about the speaker that's going to be coming out in a few minutes. He was the 45th, and he's about to be elected the 47th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, I don't have to tell any of you what is at stake in this election, but I do want to add,
democracy is at stake.
in these next 2 days,
we want to get rid of it.
You all know somebody that maybe
well,
isn't
Elaine.
sure if they're going to vote.
Hello.
And maybe somehow, if it's possible, isn't sure who they're going to vote for yet. And that's what your mission is these next 2 days. We have all got to leave it out on the field, because I can tell you, I have been watching
I like that it
these last few weeks.
both a
Donald Trump
vampire
is
and
leaving it all out on the field for you. He is not slowing down. He's doing 4 rallies a day
AC,
in every
for
swing
the
state,
podcast
every swing
listeners,
district.
they let Stephen Miller out of his coffin.
He is ready to save this great country. I know you're ready to save this great country. We have all watched in disgust as they took a secure border and opened it
Hello,
wide
I'm sure
up
you've
and let
all
not
heard
just
about
10
the
million
exciting
people,
world of
but let
crypto.
violent criminals, murderers,
Yeah,
people on the
here's
terrorist
some
watch
actual.
list.
This guy doesn't matter. Here's some actual things the Trump administration plans to do. They intend to have the U.S. economy get involved with cryptocurrency. You know that thing that has no actual value. That thing that actually, in order to create, drains productivity from society. It takes up server space. It costs electricity. It generates heat for what? For printing money, which we already do. That's who that guy is, says Bob Carmody. Yes, exactly. And The reason they want to do this, the Republicans, is because a lot of them invested in this pyramid scheme early, which means they're at the top of the pyramid. And if they get the U.S. government to buy it, that pyramid becomes the size of a skyscraper. And the value of their individual cryptocurrencies skyrockets. Well, what's the downside? The downside is it's just a way to thieve from us because we don't get anything for that. It's just a transfer of wealth from us to them. That's all it ends up being. Elon Musk would be given a position in the government, according to Trump and Musk, wherein he says he would cut $2 trillion from the budget and said in his pitch for the thing that it would cause Americans hardship, necessary hardship, he says. And he says there would be a payout that we'd get for that hardship. Now, never mind the fact that the hardship he's talking about is people not getting their checks from the government sent to them on time. People not getting government services sent to them on time or ever. Roads not getting paved. Buildings not getting repaired. Safety inspections not being done. And therefore deaths occurring from preventable accidents. All these things in exchange for what? The promise of value. The promise of a gain. I'll point out this is the dude that bought Twitter for $40 billion. $40 billion. Has he made $40 billion off it? No. Twitter's lost value since then because he runs things poorly. This is the guy that promised us something called a hyperloop. If we didn't invest in a high-speed rail from Los Angeles to San Diego, I believe it was, he said he would build a hyperloop, a different kind of thing. Another big brain idea, right? Who's been on the show of hands? Who's been on the Hyperloop? I know you can't raise your hands because I'm the only one on video, but that's okay because you don't need to because nobody's been on it because it was never built. All he did is waste the government's money researching how to do a Hyperloop to come up with the answer of, oops, I can't do it. We still don't have high-speed rail. That's who these people are. They have no interest in making your life better. They have no interest in making anybody's life better. They exist only to clean out the government if they can trick enough people into supporting them. And the way they trick people is by pointing the finger at your neighbor and saying they're the villain. Worry about them. And give me all your money. Give me the power. Don't worry about whether the last election was stolen. I'll drag out these court cases for 5 years so that you have to have the next election before we can find out the truth of what I was saying there. Just trust me. Just give me all the power. God damn it, California. Finish the high-speed rail. Yeah, and sue Elon Musk. Make him pay for it. Yeah, the death tube. Incidentally, imagine getting stuck in that thing. Jersey Texan, I think people need to start bothering their local elected officials for a lot of reasons, and we don't. Therefore, they become lazy. You are exactly correct. That's what we got to do. Train ourselves for bothering bigger officials by bothering local officials. But yes, we should be constantly bothering our officials, ones with whom we have the most sway. There is no way they have the rights to this music. Yeah, lazy and comfortable. How about public transit to get to this loopy hype? Yeah, really. And imagine this. Imagine you want a reliable bus route between many suburban towns. You know, you just want it to be reasonable to traverse the state at all hours of the day. Your one town doesn't have to do that alone. You can come up with a proposal that you take to city councils in like all across the route. And every week you go to another city council meeting and say, "Look, I've got these towns agreeing to it. I want you to sign on. Your individual cost would only be, say, $2 million. Collectively, it's going to cost $60 million. But I've got 30 towns to sign on to this." You're right. In other words, we can work with local authorities to make life better for us. I was reporting at the tiniest town you can imagine, and they managed to raise $5 million to repair a bridge. Why? Because it needed to be done. Because people showed the data that the bridge was crumbling, that the bridge would be unsafe within the next few years, that the bridge was necessary for commerce, and that ultimately, at the end of the day, when you did the math, repairing it now would generate more than $5 million. If you can go to these towns and say, quick transit between your towns will generate more than the money you need to put into it, you're likely to get them to sign on, especially if a bunch of other towns are signing on. And it's a big, exciting group project. That's the kind of stuff you can do. You can have solar panels installed in local businesses by your town for free. Just tell them that's something you want. Put it on their to-do list and get a coalition of people around you. At the town level, if you can get 100 people going to city council meetings promoting that kind of stuff, you're going to have a grand old time. Shade Dragon. Currently, from what I saw most recently, Harris is 2 points ahead of what Biden was when he won. Good. That makes me feel real good. Del Martinez, like to everyone who told me they weren't going to vote because they didn't like the candidates, I told them to send an email to their reps saying that. Yeah. Don't trust them to be mind readers. Good point, Del. The anti-corporatist, he just wants the tunnels that'll have inadequate ventilation so you can only run electric cars down there. I mean, yeah, mostly what he wants is there not to be a high-speed rail. Again, for the sake of selling cars. That's the main thing he wants. But yes, he would also like inadequate ventilation so that you're not allowed to have gasoline vehicles. Oh, wait, we did that. Bob Carmody. We're proud to announce the new collection of Trump digital trading cards. These are the not a loser section because I totally didn't lose the election. Oh, well done. Collection. These are the not a loser collection because I totally didn't lose the election. And has trouble getting any. Wait, what now? Okay, but counterpoint, not driving cars. Not driving card makes you they. Texas lot. Okay. I see. Not driving cars makes you gay. Good point. Good point. Because on the one hand, it'd be nice not to have to drive a car. And, it's less expensive. You don't have to have the insurance. You don't have to pay for a lease if that's how you bought it. But on the other hand, sucking is really an aerobic activity. It's a lot of effort to put in just to jizz. We have mature conversations here. Communities need to start generating candidates. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think the next wave of progressive politics is going to be starting at the local level. I think over the next 2 years, a bunch of us are going to jump in to local politics, and not even as candidates, just as people who participate regularly locally. I'll share with you those times that I do. But that is where the next big candidates are going to come from. It's going to be people that understand that granular level of things. Wait, I just figured out how you could lose weight, Jake. I already am. By buying less groceries. But all right, do tell. Do tell. True. Trump showed the world how aerobic he is with that microphone. Ooh, Shade Dragon. Burb. I'm putting a baked potato in the microwave. Very nice. Oh, right. With the filleting. Indeed. Yeah, as we were saying, I do think the next wave of progressive politics is going to come from local participation. And here's why. It's easier to convince people face to face and in small groups at a time. And you have quicker turnaround. Progressive policy is popular. And with local stuff, when you have a quick turnaround with things getting done, it's just that quick that you are able to gain loyal followers, people who have confidence in you because you proposed something last week and you get it this week. I'm sorry, I didn't realize they were playing the ED commercials already. I'll mute this. Oh, never mind. This is for road deal eaters.
It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
Ooh.
We need to remember
what are you doing at the Republican Party
then? We must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel?
We must love our neighbors, like the Haitians, the illegal Haitians who are eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. We must treat other people the way we want to be treated, like the Mexicans and the Muslims. It's just insane. I have no idea how these people are able to keep their heads from just popping from the what do they call it? Ludonarrative dissidence. The things that they're saying being totally different from the way they behave. It's just wild. But at least we know that they know that the behavior they have is wrong. Because here they are not copping to it. Here they are pretending like there's some other way. So they know that the way they're behaving is wrong. Good. That's something we can work with. First companies are people, now garbage can vote. Ain't it the truth? And again, I say, I didn't agree with a lot. Oh, hold up. I didn't agree. Where in the hell? No, we are doing this. I didn't agree with a lot of the things that Joe Biden said and did in his presidency. But this.
That bitch up.
More people weren't offended.
I'm like, if the shoe fits, lace that bitch up. And
he was right. He was right about that. Hey, look. A trader's here. A wild trader has appeared. Ugh. Oh my God. All right, so let's. Oh, we have the swing. We have those classic Trump dance moves. Look at his leg, by the way. Let's see if he's dragging that leg. He's been physically not so great. He's been physically degraded, but the leg dragging is a specific, apparently, dementia-related ailment, which happens. And I have been really interested in seeing it. I noticed that when he tends to stand in awkward places like he does, it's often because his leg is messing with him and he's trying to hide that. And look, I do like picking on him, but not for this reason. It is, however, relevant. If his health is as bad as it appears to be, yeah, because it means we have to pay closer attention to JD Vance when we're talking about all this stuff. Again, I'm not thrilled with that. And I'm not even saying that we're trying to vote for the king of backflips here. That gate is a little wonky, but not too terrible. But the point is, when Trump's health is that bad, when a candidate's health is that bad, it makes the choice of vice president much more relevant. Why are they chanting USA? They hate democracy.
Thank you very much, everybody.
He does not look.
Thank you very much, and I'll tell you,
great.
I love this state. I love Georgia. I love Georgia.
There's a very grim thing with the hat over his eyes like
and I'm
that. I
thrilled
don't know
to
what's
be
going
back
on.
in this incredible place with thousands
Could be
of
that,
proud,
sure.
hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. You are hardworking. You're
Listen
great.
to his voice. It's so.
We know how good you are.
For the record, that's.
And we're bringing this country back fast. We're going to bring it back fast.
My criticism
I'd like
about
to begin
what
by
he chooses
asking you
to
a
do.
very simple question. Are you better off
But he
now
does
than
seem
you were 4 years ago?
run down. Yes. Demonstrably,
With your vote
yes.
on Tuesday, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream. We're just 2 days away from what will be the most important political event in the history of our country. I believe that. But you have to do one little thing. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. The only thing I want is get out and vote. Just get out, finish it.
Probably a fake. You would have thought they'd get a more vigorous
we're on the
fake.
5-yard line, maybe even the 1-yard line. We're right there. We had a tremendous number of early votes, a record-setting number, records like nobody can believe.
I have no idea what he's talking about already.
But all I can say is on Tuesday, just go out and vote, and we're going to close this thing out, and it's going to be party time. It's going to be party time.
I don't think it's an accident that he's wearing that hat. I think he's hiding his face
and this
or
is
hair.
really all you
I don't
need
know
to know.
why.
Kamala broke it, and I'll fix it, and we'll do it very
She's not the president. And incidentally, you did break it.
America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before. We
Why
start
would we
from a
believe
very
you?
bad place. We're a nation
You did the
in
opposite
decline.
when you
We're
were
a
in power
nation
last
in
time.
decline like
Tanked
we've
the
never seen
economy.
a decline.
Skyrocketed the
What they've
national
done
debt.
to our beautiful country is
Mishandled the COVID pandemic. Just butchered
so
it.
horrible. And we have so
Then
many senators, so
tried
many
to
congressmen and
do a
women,
coup.
and just
You
we have
goddamn
so many
traitor.
great people in the audience, and
Sorry for the
they're
blast.
working with me. We're going to bring
This
this back
traitor
like
did
never
try a coup.
before. Nobody's going to believe it. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring it back so fast. This election is a choice
He's a
between
little
whether we will have
leaf
4
running
more
towards
years
freedom.
of
As
gross
bad as he's looking, it
incompetence
may
and
well cost
failure,
him his life.
or
Yeah,
whether
maybe.
we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country.
Yeah, nobody asked what Pence did for 4 years. Yeah.
This will be the golden age of America. What a beautiful, isn't that a beautiful term? Think of that, the golden
In that
age.
case, Vance
be the
runs
golden
as
age of
the
America. Think of
main
that, how
candidate
beautiful that sounds, and it's true.
because
Remember,
he
we
was
have
voted
more
for The ticket was voted for already, so Vance would become the
Then
candidate.
Saudi Arabia, then Russia, then anybody.
Elaine asks, weird question, hypothetically, if his health unalives him on or by Tuesday, what happens and how does that work? My belief is that J.D. Vance becomes the guy you vote for.
Bobby, I said, Bobby,
this gets exhausting. It truly does, says Donald James X.
You work on what we eat. You work
for
on
us and the candidates.
You work on everything. The one thing you have to let me do, Bobby, I got to work the liquid gold. You're not going to touch that. We don't want too much advice.
Tinkerbell, what still boggles my mind is that right-wingers just say blatantly untrue things and incredulous people just believe it. Yeah.
I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country.
And the reason I don't even think they believe it. They choose to pretend as though it's true because they think the stuff Democrats are saying are also lies.
Or Kamala or Harris.
I think that'll change when we
when
get
I
a
say
true
Harris,
progressive
nobody
party.
knows who the hell I'm talking about. I said Harris was out tonight. Who's Harris, sir? Nobody knows who she is.
That's insane.
But on Tuesday, you have to stand up and tell Harris that you've had enough. You can't take it anymore. You're the worst vice president in the history of our country.
He literally
it's the worst administration
was
in the
ranked
history
as
of our
the
country.
worst president in the history of the United
Kamala,
States.
You're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
He was literally voted as the worst by a group of scholars. And it got under his skin because he has not been able to let that go since. We're trying to outvote zombies, not people. Their minds are not filled with objective thoughts. I mean, I think you're correct. I think zombie voters is a good way to put it. They blindly follow the party line. But the good news is we're about to be able to cure them. We're going to wake them up from this because we're going to offer them genuine change in the next election.
Would anybody like to give up
but we
their
have to
ticket
survive
to
until
somebody
then.
outside? No. Would anybody like to hand over their gun to Kamala?
Oh my God. Tell Martinez, don't you
Is there
dare.
anybody, one
Oh,
person in this giant,
whoa.
tens of thousands of people, one person would like to hand out their gun. You'd be famous
Well,
for the rest of your life.
hello there, Tamara Chance. Good to see you, my friend.
That's what she wants. She wants to confiscate your guns. You know that. With your vote, we are going to win Georgia. We are going to defeat Kamala. And we are going to make America
Need a Canadian.
great
We can
again.
get used to saying President Harris, first female commander-in-chief. Absolutely.
Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the
And
most
also
egregious
Dougie,
betrayal that any
first
leader in American
gentleman.
history has ever inflicted upon its people. What she has done is
Doug Emhoff is going to be a blast as first gentleman. I know it doesn't matter, but
she
it
has
is going to be
violated
fun.
her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants. I mean, we have
The
migrants
criminals,
pouring in
the
here
what
by
now?
the tens of thousands.
Person who made fun of
that are
Biden for
criminals
stuttering.
from
The-
jails, from mental institutions, terrorists. They come from mental institutions.
I hope
And they come from insane
Republicans
asylums, and they come
study
from all around
Trump's
the
hand
world, from
movements
Venezuela to the Congo.
in an
Lots of
attempt
people
to
coming
learn.
from the jails of the Congo.
So I want to
stealing
see a whole
countless
generation of idiots going.
American lives, and they do nothing about it. These are open borders. They come in totally unchecked and
To try to
Just
convince
days
people.
ago, right here in your state, an incredible 25-year-old mom, beautiful mom, named Mimi Rodriguez Ramirez, was
Again, I
kidnapped
want to
from
point
a
out to you,
Walmart parking lot.
just going off what Republicans say. Republicans say there's thousands of immigrants coming across the border every day, and yet in this whole campaign, they've only found 2 violent crimes by immigrants that they were able to hold up as examples of why you should treat an entire group of people
The animal who murdered
as
Mimi
subhuman.
was an illegal alien.
Just
who
call
came
them an
to
animal.
Georgia to maim and kill people.
So,
It made no difference.
2
who they
instances, thousands of
Mimi
people a
leaves
day,
behind
per
a
capita.
9-year-old daughter
That is a more
and
law-abiding group of people than
absolutely
any
wonderful mother,
group of Americans.
Carmen. Yesterday,
Then
my friend, a
80-year-olds.
very
You could
wonderful
literally
man
take
and a
any
very
group of Americans,
patriotic and philanthropic man.
and that is a more
He had the fortune to
law-abiding
make
group
a
of
lot of
people. And
money,
there's a pretty logical
and he gives
reason
a
for
lot of
that,
his money
because
away
it takes a
for his
lot to
very
get here.
amazing. In fact,
It
he
takes
made
a lot to get you.
contributions to Georgia
And
with
nobody
your
wants to risk that once they're
hurricane
here.
problems, and he made
In other words, they're lying.
tremendous contributions to
And if you just think,
North
you don't even
Carolina,
need outside information. You
Alabama.
take just the
Think
information
of all
they've
these
given you
states, Tennessee, South
and tell that they're
Carolina,
lying.
Florida. What a horrible thing that was. But my friend's name is Steve Witkoff, and he reached out to Carmen when he heard about it. And I'd like to ask Steve, he doesn't know I'm going to do this, and he may not want to speak in front of 40,000 people because I don't know if he's ever done it before.
Grimkles.
But Steve is just this incredible guy, and if it's okay with you, Steve, I'd love to have you come up and say some wonderful things about Mimi
Steve
and
Winwood?
Carmen and that incredible family that's been decimated. Steve Witkoff.
Oh, Witkoff. I was going to be really disappointed. Whoops.
Hello, everyone. The president is a lifelong friend of mine, and he.
Oh, good. Then I don't need to hear anything else this guy's got to say. So yeah, to that point I was making earlier, you don't need information outside of what the Republicans say is so to tell that they're lying to you. They say that immigrants are a danger. Well, gosh, according to Republicans, there's thousands coming across the border every day. And Republicans have only found 2 examples of violent crimes from these folks to rant about at their rallies. Wouldn't there be dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of examples if these were the sort of folks they say they are? But they're not, because Republicans lie. So the question is, are they lying about the numbers of people that come over? Are they lying about how frequently these people commit crimes? Or, given that they must be lying about one of them, is it not possible that they're lying about both of them? And the better question is, why are they trying to get you angry at immigrants? Well, they're trying to blame their failures on an outside group of folks. That's the answer. You don't need new information. You don't need information from outside sources. You can just listen to what Republicans are telling you about themselves. Recognize the contradictions in their own internal logic and make some logical assumptions from there. Because it's clear within their own speech that they are lying to you. Because 2 things they say at once cannot be true. And then you ask yourself, why are they lying? And does it even really matter? If somebody tried to get you to throw a brick at your neighbor based on a lie, would you go to them for financial advice? Would you go to them for anything else after that? No. Because you know they cannot be trusted. That's who these people are. They can't be trusted. Not a one person there can be trusted. If they spoke in front of the microphone, hell no. Because all of them, not the people in the crowd, but all the people in front of the microphone, they had the opportunity to know better. In fact, they do know better. They've been corrected on the record in front of cameras before. They've had the facts presented to them before, and they have chosen, in the interest of supporting their own power, they have chosen to lie to you so that you'll be one of the people buying their hats and carrying their signs, waving their flags. That's why. And letting them take your money. That's why. That's all the Republican con exists to do. We need the distraction industrial complex. Yeah, kind of. I worry about that, man. I do worry about that. Del Martinez, if immigrants are such a danger, why did Trump work a deal with AMLO to house them in our border with... Yeah, I don't know. Elaine, all of the above, LOL, yeah. Let me go back. Trevor Borens. He stopped mentioning the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh no, says the anti-corporatist. He did Friday. Yeah, he did again. What's he selling at Spark Eater Den? I have no idea. Apparently, these folks. They give their money to Trump with glee. Yeah. What makes me sad is the ultimate complicity that Democrats have in this as well. Like they've gone along with normalizing Republican criminal behavior, also in the interest of securing their own power. And it was always this short-sighted deal where they were looking ahead to the next election saying, I want the people in my purple district to think I'm sympathetic to Republicans. Or, ooh, I don't know if I really want to go against this bill that Republicans want to pass. After all, I want to profit off of having bribes be legal in the United States. That makes me sad. And that's why this current version of the Republican Party is possible. Of course, all those folks in the crowd don't trust Democrats, think Democrats are liars. They are liars. They're just not as bad as the Republicans. The best lies have a kernel of truth, and Trump did accurately call in 2016. Both parties are lying to you. The difference being Democrats do less lying. That's a subtlety they lie about. Another not so subtle subtlety that Trump lied about is that he's also lying. He's also planning on swindling. In fact, he's doing the most. All right, let's let him go. Oh no, Bakey turned into smashy tato. Well, it's a great thing about potatoes. It's impossible to miscook or overcook them. They just become a different kind of potato dish. All right, let's see if we can keep us here in front of the
Wow, what a job. What beautiful words. Can you imagine? I don't think it's her first language, and she spoke
volume
better
turned
than
all
any
the way up.
person whose language is that particular language. That was incredible. Wow. And I can tell you, Carmen, that Mimi is looking down on you right now, and she is so proud. She's up there in the beautiful sky, well beyond the clouds, and
I really don't like that this guy gets away with using the families of victims of crimes
through the grief to
spread his propaganda.
Like that. And we are so sorry for your loss. It's unbelievable. We're going to get that stopped. We're going to stop it. This is happening every day.
It isn't, though.
Every hour. It's just we're going to.
It really isn't, though.
We hold.
That's just lies.
In our hearts forever.
Also lies. He doesn't have a heart.
We'll be your friend and your family's friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. These terrible atrocities against our citizens.
Also, your last name is Martinez. He would
cities and towns all across America.
Find a reason to hate you.
I want you to hear directly from another mom.
Sorry,
great mom, also wonderful woman who I met just a week ago. Border
the
Patrol
irony,
gave me this
right?
incredible endorsement. They said he's the greatest president in the history of our country. I said, does that include Lincoln, Washington?
Right in Hannibal.
Yes, sir. But then I told the story, but then one of the guys
taking young girls to a Trump event definitely needs to qualify as child abuse. Yeah, agreed.
I didn't like that. He was 37 years.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I like the other one much better. The greatest ever. No, the Border Patrol is great. They're incredible people, and they gave us a full-throated endorsement. And they have every year, frankly. They always endorse me. And
his voice is really faded.
Them and ICE and law enforcement. And our sheriffs.
I have them cranked up as high as
our
it
sheriffs
goes.
are great. Police all over the country. They're not.
It's
They aren't
understandable,
really respected by everybody.
given that
but
he's been
they don't
campaigning for a
understand
year
because
straight,
They don't get treated properly.
because he had to
And we're
announce it
gonna treat
before
them
the charges
properly,
were
and they're gonna
announced.
solve our crime problem very easily. It's what they want to do. They're dying. You know what? They just want to. They're dying to do it.
Worth pointing
They
out,
watch
he
these stores
tanked
being
the
robbed,
immigration
guys
bill
walking
that
out
was
with
bipartisan.
refrigerators, 500 thugs going
That
into
dude,
a department store,
right
cleaning
there.
it out. Some of them with refrigerators on their back. And they want to do something, but they're told to stand down. Don't even think about it. You'll lose your pension. You'll lose your house. You lose all your money. You lose your family. And we're going to free them up to stop
True
the crime
AC.
in our cities and stop the crime in our country. And they know, I have to say, you know, somebody said, well, how would you do this? Because obviously we have to deport these murderers and drug dealers and terrorists. We have terrorists coming into our country at levels we've never seen before. You know,
Where does he get that
if you look
information? Oh, wait, he
at
doesn't.
the
He's making
numbers
it up.
issued by the Border Patrol in 2019, a Trump year, and I don't even agree with these numbers. They said I had 0 terrorists. Oh, by the way, bring down that board, please. Just my favorite board in the whole world. My favorite board in the whole world.
Reminding everybody that somebody shot at him. I'll remind you that somebody was a Republican. And I was laughing because
I assume it's up there. Is it up there, Mike?
because
So,
he.
I love that chart.
I'm sorry. I want to see the crowd as well. But
I hold it tight.
I'm sure he forgot that
But it
2019 was a
saved me,
Trump
'cause if I
year
didn't
when he
make
started that
chapter into
sentence.
the right to look at it, I would not be with you tonight. So if you look
Again,
at the
a
arrow on the
Republican
bottom,
tried to shoot him.
that was my last day in office.
Oh no!
After I left, all they had to do is leave it
Did
the
they
way
not
it was.
fill
Remain
up
in
the
Mexico.
stands
You think it was
behind
easy to
him
get
before they
Mexico
filled
to
everything
say,
else up?
Oh, sure. They said no. They laughed at me when I first proposed it. And within about 10 minutes, they were saying, we would love to do it, sir. I said, I'm going to put tariffs on every car and everything you send into the United States if you don't do it. And they not only that, they gave us thousands, tens of thousands of
It would be
soldiers free of
ironic if he
charge,
dropped dead from
everything free. I
campaigning.
wanted it free. And tremendous crime is coming through.
Is
But
he
that was
Jersey Texan?
in
Is he saying our
2019. They
cops
said
can't handle the
we allowed
criminals? Apparently
0.
so. You heard it here first, folks. Trump
And it
hates
was good, but I think it
cops.
has to be a little bit. But the following year, it was 16 or 19 terrorists. Now it's thousands of terrorists.
What's
that come in
going on
from
with
the
that?
Middle East
I
and all
can't
over the world.
get
Some of the
over
worst
that.
in the
It's such a
world. We know the
weird
names.
choice.
We have no idea where they are. But our local law enforcement does. You know, people say, well, how are you going to ever find? Our local sheriffs and law enforcement people are incredible, and they're dying to do the job. And they know their middle names. They know their addresses, where they come from. They know everything, and they're going to help us. And we're going to have the largest
They know their middle names? What
deportation of criminals
evil
in
thing are we
history.
going to find out that's related to? He's dark
But
goth,
I want
man.
you to hear directly from another incredible mother
A la
whose
Musk, eh?
world has been shattered just recently also because Kamala let savage, illegal alien murders into our country through the open border. She has an open border.
All right.
Unvetted, unchecked, an open border. Please.
Ugh. So a couple of things. Number one, Kamala Harris, not in charge of the border. Never has been. Not even in her role in the administration regarding immigration. Her role in the Biden, not Harris, but Biden administration was to investigate the causes of immigration. Just the causes. She, for those that don't know, is the vice president, not the president. On the other hand, Trump was the president, and his big solution for dealing with immigration was that he was going to build a wall, which he did not. So anything he tells you now that he's going to do in regards to fixing immigration, just remember, he failed the first time. Didn't do it. Problem's still here. He had 4 years before. couldn't do it. Now he's got 4 years to try again. Why would it be any different this time? He's not even rolling out his concepts of a plan. So you can decide for yourself. No, he just says, trust me, I'll do it. After all, didn't I not do it before? Then there's the fact that there was a bipartisan agreement about what to do about our southern border. But by the way, I'm of the belief that it was a bad idea. I didn't like the plan. But if you were considering voting for Trump, you'd love it. It was a very right-wing, bipartisan immigration bill. It was ready to go. It was going to be signed. It was going to be put into action. Trump himself lobbied to kill it. Trump himself is the reason that bill does not exist, so that he could play this video right now. If you really think that illegal immigrants are responsible for the deaths of these people, you have Trump to blame. Because Trump is why we have the same immigration laws now, basically, as we did at the beginning of Biden's presidency. There were going to be different ones. They were full of capitulation, of surrenders to the right wing. It was a very right-wing bill. Trump killed it. Worth pointing out from Jersey Texan, child separation didn't work either. He's just going to be even more cruel. Yeah, performative cruelty without actually getting anything done. Elaine, why does United States have federal police, FBI, etc., if local level police have all the knowledge and power? Yeah, because it's nonsensical. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me do some justice on that volume.
Needless death.
Yeah,
Today I
needless
take the
death
oath
that
of
he
office.
caused.
The migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our
Yeah,
country.
me too. We're going to have to lobby
begins
Harris not to
immediately.
sign that initial bill. That initial bill was a nightmare, and I'm glad it
And when
didn't
you
go
vote
through.
on Tuesday,
But
remember
Republicans
this.
shouldn't be.
Kamala is importing illegal alien rapists.
And if Republicans
and
aren't, if Republicans are
draconian
fine with that
monsters
bill
who
getting
are
crushed,
killing
then
our children, our brothers, our sisters.
yeah,
our
let's look at all that hate speeches. Do it. Yeah, if Republicans, let me say this. Here's the pitch we should make to Harris. If she's trying to win over people that voted for Trump, the way to do it is not by signing into law that draconian border bill, because Trump killed that bill and they're fine with it. So clearly, they didn't, even if it's full of stuff they would have liked, they don't know what's in it, and they won't know what's in it because they do not follow this stuff. Or if they do follow it, they don't understand it. They have no coherent internal logic. They're just playing Calvin ball. And the only right answers are ones where Democrats bad, Republicans good. The point is, you will not win them over with policy that they pitch, Kamala Harris. You just won't. You won't make friends that way. You might win them over by being very progressive with your policy. The most popular policy moves by presidents every time are progressive policies. So if you want to win over right wingers, go as left wing as you can and call it the Liberty, Freedom, Patriot Act. Do that. Well, you're old, so the list of in your lifetime is a long one. Number 1, burn in hell. Number 2, correct. Project 2025 is trying to defang the FBI. Truthfully, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like their reasons for doing it. And if they are able to do it, it'll be bad because it'll be with the goal of changing it into a corrupt institution that works as a muscle for the president, basically. But currently, I feel that they work as muscle for the rights agenda broadly. So, might be worth a rethink.
And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs like
What the?
MS-13.
Oh, you only hear about these once every 4 years.
To cut people up because knives are much more painful than a bullet. They did it
good.
in Long Island. You remember 2 young girls walking to school in the morning, beautiful 16-year-old girls.
Dude.
And they were grabbed by MS-13 and they
Or-
were sliced into pieces and killed.
What the fuck is he talking about?
And all I can say, it's
What a
really good that
weirdo.
we have great law enforcement out there and that we were able to call ICE.
This
Because
from the
ICE took
guy
care of business.
that
They
hung
took
out
care
with
of
Jeffrey
business.
Epstein. Don't talk about beautiful
Kamala wants to
16-year-old girls,
defund
you
ICE.
freak.
Think of that. She wants to. She said, "Oh." She said, "They're not nice people. They better not be nice people."
He
They're
looks
nice
like
people. They're
Lynn
gonna
Wood.
have a lot of problems with living, but they are tough as hell. But they love our country equally as much. They love our country so much. They just want to be able to do their job. So, ICE and Border Patrol and all of you, sheriffs and law enforcement officers, and yes, firemen and sanitation men and you are on the A list, all of you. I will invoke the alien.
He looks like this guy. Oh, he says he will invoke. He said he will invoke the alien. Well, here it is.
On the A list, all of you. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you imagine? That's when they ran it a little tougher. They weren't so politically correct in 1798.
Say outright
To
what you
target
mean.
and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole.
So do consider that he is suggesting that we.
And I am here in all sanctuary cities in the United States of America immediately.
He's suggesting that we pay for the room and board of these
And as
folks
we
for
secure
10
our
years.
borders, we will also
That's the punishment.
rescue our horrendous, you saw the numbers on Thursday, horrendous economy. Yes,
Oh,
it's that
cripes.
bad.
Yeah, that's no good.
I always said that if it's going to happen, let it happen on their terms. The
Yes.
numbers were the worst that I've ever seen.
Good
4
point,
years
Tinkerbell.
of
Beautiful
Kamala
16-year-old girls
and Sleepy
go right
Joe
into play the
have
Epstein
delivered
clip. The
nothing
Harris
but economic
campaign needs to
hell
pump
for
out that ad
American
tomorrow. That
workers.
might be my work
Our
tonight.
inflation disasters made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000.
DJX.
a
Yeah,
year
quit
in higher
talking in
prices.
codes.
It's
Just have the
inflation, that's
balls
what
to
it's
come out
done.
and say it. Many Republicans do
You know,
also.
inflation
Yeah.
in a lot of quarters
And
is
Shade
called
Dragon.
a country
Good point.
buster.
10
It's a
years of
country
slave
buster.
labor. True.
It busted Germany.
But still,
Many,
Americans have to
many
pay for it.
years ago.
And then a private company benefits
Germany
from that
was
slave
busted
labor.
with
It's the same.
rampant inflation. It's a country breaker, country buster like almost nothing else. And yet, it's number one rated on the polls. Inflation and the economy and what you just saw with beautiful,
Forgot what he was saying.
beautiful Jocelyn, Mimi, and Carmen. What you just saw is number two. No, I don't think so. I think number one is stopping these people from destroying our country and stopping them right now. We'll handle inflation. We'll handle inflation. You know how we're going to handle it. We're going to
So
drill.
translation,
We're going to get energy.
number
costs so
one
low.
is we get violent in the
We're
street.
going to get you. We have more than
That's
any
the
other
excuse he's going to
country.
use, going after
More oil and
illegals
gas.
with
I
the
call it liquid gold.
1798
That's what
Act.
it is. That's
But
why I
as
say,
pointed
Bobby,
out by
please enjoy
anti-corporatists,
yourself. Just leave the liquid gold today,
it
You're
lets
gonna
him
pay
put in
off debt.
prison
We're
and
gonna
deport
reduce
a
your
lot of
taxes
people,
stuff.
including people who are pro-Palestinian, under the guise of them supporting
We had a great
terror,
administration.
which means
And
any
I will
lefty
say
he doesn't
that,
like, he's going to say
I
is
got you into no
pro-Palestinian
wars with
and
countries
try
that
to
you've
imprison
never
them,
heard of.
and
And
will
yet I
imprison
defeated
them
ISIS.
if
I
we let him get
rebuilt
into
our
power.
military, and I
Go
defeated
vote.
ISIS
Go get your friends
in
to
about
vote.
4 years less than these
Call your
stupid
brother and your
generals
sister
like
and your
Milley
mother and your
and
cousin.
Kelly and Mattis.
Get them to
Sir,
vote
it'll
for
take
Harris.
approximately 5 years to defeat
Any
us.
libertarian you know,
I bet we did it in
make
about
it
4
clear
weeks.
that this guy is the antithesis of their beliefs.
With the real generals. Just this week, we had the worst jobs
I do, but only
report in modern
vaguely.
history. So
The
reason
worst
I put it
jobs
second
report?
on
No,
the
we
list
didn't.
is I wanted you to meet these incredible mothers and these unbelievable families that are just decimated because it's number one. It will always be number one to me because I'm good at this stuff. I'll handle inflation. You'll be making so much money all of a sudden. It'll just be beautiful. Because if we get your energy costs and your interest rates and a couple of things down, it'll be even better than it was. You know, we had the
Chuck's
greatest,
anti-Semitism
strongest economy
bill
in the
isn't
history
going
of
to
our
help
country.
either. No, it will
We're
not.
going to do it again, but even better. And now I know Washington. Now I know, because I went to Washington very few times in my life. I didn't know anybody. Think of that. I became president of the United States and I didn't know anybody in Washington. That's a problem. So I had to rely on rhinos and some others and some very good
Listen
people
to what he's
too.
saying.
We had a lot of great
He's
people.
saying I
Our
was held back
trade deals
before,
have
and
been
this time I
unbelievable.
won't
Nobody
be.
can believe it even. And so many other things are right to try. One of the greatest things, right to try. We got so much done. All the regulation cuts. We approved more regulation cuts than any president in history times 5. That's why you had the great job. That's why you had the great job numbers. And it's really why we were the envy of the world. We were going at levels that nobody's ever seen. We got hit by the China virus and we took care of it. We did a great job. You know, we turned it over with the stock market higher.
Of course,
than
he
it
has to
was
call it the China
previous
virus.
to the virus coming in.
Like
I mean,
at a
it's
certain
sort of an
point,
amazing thing. Nobody had ever heard about this. No.
at a certain point, Republicans, don't you just get bored with this guy? Like he has to call it the China virus. Who's out there walking around saying China virus? If you're doing that, it's just because you're trying to be cruel to the Chinese. That's all. It's not like that's what you normally call it. People call it coronavirus. That's the natural term for it. That's what it is. That's what the whole world knows it as. So he's out there saying China virus. Why? To thrill you that he's willing to? I'm not thrilled. It's not daring. It's just sad. It's like somebody that was trying sincerely to hit you and they're just running out of steam and you're just letting them knock on your chest. It's sad. It's sad the way he tries to rile people up. He just can't.
12,000.
Or if people get riled up by this, you need better standards
And somebody
for what
released
inspires
it, a
you.
whistleblower or somebody released it, but they released something far more sinister because if you go back a few weeks, you remember they created 818,000 fake jobs. They didn't exist and they put them down as though they did. So that instead of having today's problem, which is 12,000, which is like terrible, it looked okay. Not great, but it looked okay. So they created 818,000 fake jobs, and it was revealed 2 weeks ago, and the fake news media hardly picked it up. What a shame. That's a lot of fake news. Look at that. That's a lot. Wow. That's a lot of fake news, Mr. Chairman. That's a lot, huh? I can't believe it. You know, they hate me, but ratings predominate. For the networks, ratings predominate over hate.
He's got to whine about the
But
news.
think of what they did.
Here's
818,000
something.
fake. And then last week
Either defeat your enemies or make peace with them.
So that's
But it is the height of incompetence.
1 million fake
10 years after you started this thing,
and they did
to
that
still be
hoping
shaking
that
your fist at the same
all of
people.
you people wouldn't have a chance to see before you pull the lever on Tuesday. But a whistleblower
Looney
released the
Tunes,
information
a.k.a.
on the
Andrew. Good to
on the
see you.
800,000
Fake news
jobs
is at it
plus.
again.
The whistleblower
He's
said,
just a sore
there were
loser,
not
Spinkerbell. A whiner,
800,000
yes.
and 18,000.
Anti-corporatist says he's incapable of not whining. I agree.
112,000 jobs. So you're close to 1 million jobs. And the whistleblower, some whistleblowers, never loved the idea of whistleblowing, but
Of course he didn't. So let me run back a fact that you should know from now on when you consider who you're going to vote for. Since, I believe, 1990, Republicans have generated, like during Republican presidencies, 1 million jobs. 1 million jobs in America. And Democrats have generated 50. 50 million jobs. That's the difference between these parties. That's the salesmanship of the Republicans cannot be denied because people are out here thinking they're worth a damn at all. Like they've ever done anything of value for anyone. They haven't. But people are out here thinking it. But the facts are, when you sit down and count, 1 million jobs created over the last 34 years. 1 million created by Republicans. 50 million. 50 million created by Democrats. He tells you the jobs report isn't as stellar as it was hoped to be. He has no idea, as usual, what he's talking about.
have gone to migrants. The migrants have
good.
every single job plus.
More anger at migrants.
Many of them are illegal, and many of them
Patrick
are
Kimedo.
and many of them are.
When I had to commute, I used to listen to the Beatles' Revolver every day for a while. So great it didn't get old. This ain't that. This is just the same bullshit dribble every day. Yeah. He can't even get over frickin' the migrant thing, which he caused. He had a bill. Just joined, over 2 hours behind. Doubt I'll catch up in time, but I'm here. Well, welcome, Logan Hill. Good to see you.
The African American
Bark Eater Den, the party of used car salesmen. Yeah.
At numbers that we have never seen before, and migrants that are here illegally are coming in and taking their job, and they have homes and mortgages, and they have things to pay, and they've worked there for 10 and 15 and 20 years, and they're losing their jobs. And frankly, the Hispanic
Hold on. I want to give us a chance to spot what's going on with his eyes, because I got to know.
Affected too, very seriously. The unions know that this is a big problem.
The scab wants to talk about unions. This dude hired people to pretend to be union workers when he gave a speech at a scab plant during a strike.
That's why they don't want to be.
But he wants to trick you into thinking he's for unions.
Numbers, 1929 depression type numbers.
You don't even have to know whether or not his policies are good or bad. I happen to know they're bad. But you don't need to know that to make the decision. All you need to know is he just tried to lie to you. Just now.
I would not want to be Herbert Hoover.
If he's willing to lie to you for your vote, he's not going to use your vote to help.
Because we have leadership that's
he has to lie because he does not have your interests in mind.
IQ people, and we need very, very, very high IQ people.
He keeps saying low IQ person. You know, like a dumbass.
We're going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle. Wait till you see how fast we're going to get it going.
Low IQ person.
Get the prices down. Don't forget, you could stop inflation, but the bacon.
We need high IQ people, he says.
The lettuce and the apples. There's a story that should never happen in this country.
That's just shtick. Yeah, it's just ironic that he says low IQ person like a dummy.
And she brings it up to the counter, and then they tell her the price of the apples, and she says,
unintelligent or intelligent would be the intelligent sounding way to say that. It would still be low IQ of him.
This should never be happening in our country.
But it's just
we will make America.
It should not work on anybody. And the fact it's not just that. It's the fact that he tried to impress you. by saying somebody else's
So we're
quote
2
unquote
days
low
away
IQ.
from the
Should
best
mean
jobs
you don't
and the
listen to
biggest
anything he has to say.
paychecks and the brightest economic future the world
When
has
we
ever
elect
seen.
Harris.
Kamala talks about fixing the economy, but why doesn't she do it? She said the other night, yes,
I'm right there with you, Del. Also a low IQ person.
She's always saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The best was today, though. She was going to fix something else. When I get into office in January, do it now. What are you waiting for? It's all a
This
big con.
from the
She's not gonna
guy
do
that
anything.
says he'll
She's
release his
incapable of doing
taxes
it.
later. This
Kamala's
from the
plan
guy
will
that
impose the
says
largest
he
tax
will.
hike in American history
Yeah,
and raise
he'll
taxes on
explain
the
how he's
typical
going to get
American
Mexico to pay
family
for the wall later.
4
Now we're going to
5.
mute him. He says, "Do it now" to Harris, the vice president, who cannot do it now because she is not the president. He, however, had every opportunity to do the things he said he was going to do, and he didn't. He's going to repeal and replace Obamacare. He promised that in 2016. Do it now, Trump. Oh, you didn't. You didn't. Well, tell us your plan. You said you're going to do it this time. Tell us your plan at least. I have concepts of a plan, says Trump. I'll tell you my plan later, he says. Do it now. It's an obvious attempt to muddy the water. Don't let it work again. America, we have to be better than this. I'm not even saying we got to be amazing, but we have to be better than this. This cannot be someone who ever again has a serious chance of running the country because he's a fundamentally unserious human being. He is evil, in my opinion. But you don't have to agree with me on that. He's just unserious. And if we want to be taken seriously by the world, we cannot be associated with this jackass.
Benefits for our great seniors. And to rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby,
Jake
drill.
says Looney Tunes
frack,
9000.
frack,
Can you
frack,
explain
we're
why the
gonna go
hell
to
Trump
town.
is wearing a gold MAGA hat
I
on
know
his head?
those guys,
No, but
those
it's
guys that-
weird.
They don't call them wildcatters.
It's
for nothing.
weird
They'll
that
be
he's got it
drilling
pulled
so
low like
fast.
that. You can't see the top
It's
half
the
of his
concept
face.
of
I'm
what's
going
gonna
to
happen
make
on
him full
Tuesday.
screen again.
What
Oh,
we have.
concept of a plan. It's
I'm
on
not
his
supposed
mind.
to say that. My people say, please don't say that, sir. They'd like me to say that, yeah.
He's got
we're
his
a little bit
sunglasses on,
behind.
does
When did
he?
you get out? Look, here's the story. You have to get it out. You have to vote Tuesday.
No.
It's all Tuesday. You got to show up in numbers that you've never seen before. And we don't need those kind. But you know what? We want to have a
No.
so many votes that we can really do what we have to do to make our country great.
But he
to
does
fix our
have that
country. We don't want to
husband hit him and he's trying to cover for it look, which is weird.
And it would be nice. It's
He's in
obviously not
incognito
necessary,
mode.
but
Yeah,
it
he's
would
just
really
trying to
be nice
masturbate in
to have
peace.
more votes than they do, because typically it's not great mathematics because you take.
I saw the tail end of the rally. I'm sorry. I was in the tub when it started and I had to scramble to
Did you see that his poll numbers have
to
absolutely
get going. I thought she was going
collapsed?
on like an hour
Did you see
later.
that, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Did you see that? Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in history. But Gavin,
Mayor Chance, all Trump MAGA does is talk shit about America. Yeah.
But
oh, it's the
all of
shadow
these
for
people,
sure. It's just such a weird.
just taxing
Like
you
it's
out.
functionally
The
the same
worst
thing
is
as sunglasses,
was
though.
talking to
Like
Elon Musk. How great is Elon
I don't know.
Musk?
Elon Musk is terrible. We just talked about how
When
he
I
lost
saw that
40 billion
rocket
on
ship
Twitter
come in
and
a
failed to
week
build
ago,
the
I'm
Hyperloop.
looking and I told the story twice. I'm
He's trying to
looking at
jerk
that
off in
rocket
public.
ship, and I'm on the phone with a very important person. Very, very important. Even all these.
The lights are
senators,
really
even
low
Herschel
too. There's
Walker
just
would be
everything
impressed
about
with
him is fading. I swear.
Not that Herschel wouldn't be that impressed. Herschel is, by the way, you're the greatest, Herschel. What a good man. They didn't treat him fairly.
They treated him very fairly. He got up and talked about werewolves. What the f are you talking about? There is no way in the
Herschel was very
world he
fast,
should have
very
been.
fast, but he would always run
put
around.
in charge of anything.
But if perchance you couldn't run around, he would run through people I've never seen carry. He would carry 4 coal miners'
Dude,
sons
that's
on his back
entirely
for like
possible.
12
Jersey
years. They
Texans
didn't know what
saying
they
he ran out of
couldn't touch
bronzer.
him. Really, maybe
Could
one
be.
of the top 2 or 3 in the history of football. We were really great.
Yes, I adore
Remember
Police
they
Academy,
played
Bar
here.
Theater Den.
Here in your state, the
Wait, I
ballad
don't remember
to
the podium
Herschel Walker.
scene.
They're
Never
playing
mind.
the ballad to that guy, and all he wanted to do is play football. He's a good person with a great wife and family and everything, and we love that you're here, Herschel. And as good as that Georgia team is, if Herschel was playing on it, they'd be very happy. And we could guarantee it, but he's a special guy. He's a good guy. Really a great guy, smart guy, too. So,
No, look,
they would take
I'm sure there's a lot of great things about Herschel Walker.
and they put him into a hopper.
He
and
famously,
is destroy our country.
I don't know, maybe he's smart. He's also
We're going to create
fucking
millions and
wacky.
millions of jobs. We're going to get those countries and
Do we not remember the
companies
werewolves
alone.
versus
We're not gonna
vampire
do it. And if you're
press
gonna play
conference
games, and
he
if you're
gave?
gonna steal
Press
from us,
conference about these
our
things.
companies and give us unemployment and busted companies, we're not going to let it happen. And if it does happen, we're going to tariff you the hell out of business. We're not going to let it happen.
Again, I know you all know this, but it needs to be said out loud in case somebody happens to watch
And
the
just one
VOD.
quick story. In Mexico, they're
Tariffs
building
are
the
paid
largest plant,
by the
auto
buyer,
plant in the world. A
aka
friend of mine
you and
told
me.
me that he's a builder of auto plants.
Yes,
That's all he does. That's all he's
maybe,
good at.
maybe businesses could choose
He
to
said
eat
to
that
build
cost.
an apartment, he would
But
be
what
no
did we
good, but he
learn?
could build a massive plant. He's the best.
No. What did we just learn? What happens when all businesses get to point to the same cause of a price increase? Not even if that price increase happens in terms of their operating costs, but just the same market trend, the same suspected cause of a price increase. We just had it happen. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Russian fuel was diverted to going towards their war machine, which means they weren't selling it, which means the price of fuel went up. And that was speculated to affect the cost of transporting food. Also worth noting, Ukraine's wheat supply was decimated, literally burned by Russians. That also was expected to raise the cost of food. Joe Biden done a lot of terrible things in his presidency. This wasn't one of them. He fixed both those problems. He fixed them, but because the world was half panicked about it when it started, grocers throughout America raised their prices anyway. They passed the cost on to the consumer anyway. There was no cost, but nonetheless, they passed the supposed cost on. And then when it was clear there would be no cost, they just kept prices up because fuck us, I guess. Incidentally, Kamala Harris is introducing, if you will elect her Tuesday, she's introducing price gouging laws to prevent that. But to the original point, Trump said tariffs are how we're going to fix every problem that we encounter. And I say to you, you will pay those costs. Because when big business gets a universal expense added, they know they don't have to compete with each other to lower the price for you, which means you have to pay for it every time. Or we regulate. God, his lips are gross. Sorry, I just got a good look at him. Now you have
said
to.
to the state of Michigan, you're so
Ugh.
lucky. No wonder I'm leading Michigan by a lot.
No, you're not,
No,
mother.
but there's a big thing. I mean, I said you're going to be paying tariffs like you wouldn't believe, and it's not going to be economic, and and they think I'm going to win, and they say if he wins, it's going to be impossible.
You're going to pay
'Cause I
tariffs
took in
like you won't believe.
hundreds
No,
of
thank you.
billions of dollars
I
from
voted for
China.
Harris.
No other president took in 10 cents. Barack Hussein Obama took in nothing. He just talks. He talks all the time. talk. And a terrible thing happened 2 days ago. I've always treated
the guy over his right shoulder, his stage right
but
shoulder,
she hit me
as we
hard over
say,
the last. What was
looks
that?
like an
Front row judge?
infiltrator.
Look at the front row judge. They've been to like 300 rallies.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, look at
yeah,
this
he kind of does.
I mean, 25,000 people standing.
He looks
outside.
asleep, honestly.
The back window. You know,
He
it's
is
full
though.
when
No,
you have the back
I
window
thought his
and
head
people are
fell
hanging out
forward.
the window. Be careful too. But this isn't a rally. You know what this
Good
is?
on you.
This is a request to tell everybody just to go.
Tamara Chance,
Just
Herschel
go
Walker, Tommy
and vote on
Tuberville,
Tuesday.
Brett Favre. American football isn't sending their best. True.
This is not a rally. It should be a rally.
Oh no, the other guy.
We want you to go vote. So I believe in America first. It's going to be America
I only see a
first.
pair
You
of
know, you
lips
don't
on a
hear that
popsicle,
often.
but yeah.
And our country is going to be so successful.
He thought it was funny.
It's going to be so rich. Your taxes are coming down. Your jobs are going up. And we are going to indeed have.
Well, good on you. It's great when the stomach shrinks. You get some peace.
And it's really
David Martin Graff, hello.
others do to us, the smart ones.
Good to see you.
There are no dumb ones.
What's harder to do is for Apple to arbitrage 100 basis points a day. I don't know what basis points are. More than making riskless trades. This does not seem to have anything to do with the topic at hand, but I may be wrong.
I didn't care because I don't know how the hell they got those deals. Those deals, they had. There's two ways those deals. It's like the
Harris Walls. Yes, indeed.
Those deals were made.
Hey there, Van
The person
Bioka.
that made them was corrupt or stupid because these are you had the worst trade deals ever made by any country ever. Anyway, we started changing.
Under Trump, we had to stop manufacturing cars. As a state that manufactures cars, I'm very familiar with this. We had to stop because under Trump, we were, ironically, yeah, they were going crazy with him.
More tariffs on. I saved
No. Let's talk about China and Trump. China manufactured the chips necessary for us to build cars. Without them, because there were no U.S. manufacturers of those chips, the United States had to halt production on our vehicles. You recall a couple years back, it was really hard to buy a car. We're just now getting out of that. Just now. Because Joe Biden signed into law the CHIPS Act, which, amongst many other things, created U.S. Chip manufacturing so that we never again have to be reliant on a foreign country for crucial parts like that. That's the difference. In other words, under Trump, China had leverage over us, and they used it. When things got tight, we suffered and they didn't. They could keep making cars, we couldn't. Under Biden, it was the opposite. We gained the ability to produce our own chips. Under Harris, well, heck, hopefully it'll be even better than that.
Especially at the border.
Yeah, especially at the border.
Come roaring down. You know, as soon as we open up the gas spigot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's several degrees above my own.
Said $1.87. I was corrected by the government manuals. So I said I'll take it 3 cents. But we had $1.
Yeah, Elaine. Yes, and Chrysler lost a shift because of it for a couple of years ago.
Today you're at 375.
It was brutal, man.
If anything happened,
Economically devastated Michigan. Well, it hurt Michigan, but ironically, the electric car business came in and rescued us.
Calling half of America garbage. You saw Joe. Do you think they were happy with Joe the other night?
Del Martinez says, but like, why does Trump always sound like he went to school with me in Texas? He's proof money can't buy everything. Look, there's no way you sound as bad as Trump. There's just no way.
That's lasted.
He's like the kind of, and I say this as a proud ignoramus myself.
Perhaps that's why
but
we're leading by
Trump
so
is
much,
the
but
kind
that's
of
not
dumb that you have to like make in a lab. He's a once in a generation moron. He really is.
a great, great economy, and their economy.
Tinkerbell. They want to paint Harris and Walls as beholden to China. Meanwhile, how many Chinese patents does his daughter
Kamala
have?
says she would not
True.
do one thing differently from Joe Biden.
How many Chinese patents does Ivanka Trump have? Absolute facts. She's got a lot of money tied up there. Oh, yeah. And so does Mitch McConnell's wife. Yes, Elaine Chao, Secretary of Transportation under Trump, incidentally. Has a ton of business tied up with China and does, in fact. Okay, they're just going to the video again. I thought another Republican might have been perched on top of the rafters somewhere. There's suspicion that her loyalties are not to the United States, and it's not because of her birth nationality. It's because of her behavior. She and Mitch McConnell have given a hell of a lot of favorable trade deals to China for seemingly no reason. And they have connections to Chinese nationals that raise eyebrows. It's just like, I don't even care. McConnell's retiring. I don't even care. It's just the hypocrisy astounds me. The fact that Republicans can be relied upon to never check this stuff shocks me. Yeah, why are they so hypocritical? I don't know. Like, I get why the politicians are. It's because they're trying to steal as much as they can, as quick as they can. But I don't get why the voters don't care. If you say you believe in something, surely you do, right?
For your president. So if you want to end this disaster, you have to go out, get out and vote. And just in conclusion,
Ooh.
we want to
Chrysler's battery plant is nearing completion and has started doing something. Production starts next year. I think they are making electric cars, but I'm not, or at the very least, they're producing the, was it lithium ion? They're the whatever battery is necessary to power electric cars.
And he's a tough guy. I had to compete against this guy. This guy was not easy. He's tough. He's tough and
True.
he's smart, and he's my friend Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Oh, he's calling Lil Marco Rubio now. He must need something
David
from him.
Perdue, he's working so hard, and Kelly Loeffler. Thank you, Kelly.
Is that David Perdue as in
somebody I'm very proud of? Arkansas
Farm?
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Representatives, warriors, by the way. Andrew Clyde, Austin Scott.
Nope,
Mike
they're two different.
Collins,
Oh wait,
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
no, he just bought stock in
And a guy who
opioids.
was great in the Mueller hearings. Remember, he was hitting up Mueller with so many questions. Mueller said, "I don't know, I can't. Where the hell am I?" Just after 2 years, he had no idea what was happening.
Lithium. Thank you, Elaine.
Totally
Lithium batteries. Yes.
By the way, totally 100% exonerated.
Rubio is not Puerto Rican.
This man
Trump's
was
side.
great. You got to see his voice chiming through those.
Kelly Loeffler. Now there's a name I forgot. Yeah.
It was unfair competition. Former Congressman Doug Collins. Thank you, Doug. And candidates for Congress, Brian Jack. So Brian Jack. I hated when they took Brian Jack. They came to me and they said, "We'd love to have Brian run his home district where he was born."
It's weird that he's given shout outs. I'm assuming
I
don't know, is he getting sentimental? Look,
and I endorsed him.
I don't give what he has to say. Two things that are ending Tuesday, no matter what. Thing number one, campaign commercials. Gone from our lives for a very long time. At least 2 years. At least 1 year. Jesus God. It has to be more than that, but probably at least 1 year. Anyway, campaign commercials. Thing number 2, MAGA rallies. You're never going to see another Trump rally after Tuesday. If he loses. Because this motherfucker will hold rallies as president just for funsies. But if he loses, that's the end of MAGA rallies. I hope he creeps his audience again. All right, let's listen for him to F up. That's what we really want. That's what I want out of this.
With that whole situation, but I hear you're doing great and you're going to be very successful, and you do indeed have a frustration. If you were a woman, that would be bad. And nowadays with this administration, you can become a woman if you'd like. I don't think you should. I have a feeling that he's going to take a pass. Do you believe what's happening with that whole situation? But
what?
I hear you're doing great and you're going to be very successful, and you do indeed have the look. Whether I'm supposed to say it or not, who cares? Thank you very much. Agriculture Commissioner, and he's a good one. Tyler Harper. Thank you, Tyler. He's a good one. Yeah, but I hear we're really in great shape, right? We have record-setting early voting numbers that nobody's ever seen before. Can you believe it?
So this is him preparing for the next coup.
But the Republican Party never wins early. We'll be 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 votes behind, and that they consider that good. But it's just the opposite. We're
not so that they never win early voting.
Nope, this has never happened.
Also, wait, why would he say they're thousands of votes ahead? We don't know what the voting is yet.
If you don't go out on Tuesday and vote, right, Josh? We have to get them to vote. And of course, I just
oh yeah, he's trying to make it seem like they're winning already because he is going to say that it's the election was stolen because he thinks he's going to lose. Look, we knew he was a sore loser regardless. We knew he would try another coup regardless because he didn't get punished for the last one.
Recovering from Hurricane Helene, and I want
but this should be good news. He's scared.
He's working.
He's terrified.
Making sure that we win this vote
on
Tuesday. So
he should
I want
be.
to thank very much, Brian.
And it's going to go as bad for him as he's awake at night.
Everybody's working as a unit because winning this vote. And by the way,
and Jack Smith, by the way, is documenting all of this.
It's over.
And so are we.
So
he just said all that stuff live into a mic. We're not going to let the DOJ forget that.
Hurricane response was a disgrace and actually a betrayal. It was
sort of like how he threw paper towels at Puerto Ricans, refused to help California
totally unanswered.
With a wildfire.
Why? Because they spent their money on illegal.
Sort of like that.
Aliens, people coming into our country illegally. Many of them very bad.
That's a lie. I could go into how
so
if you're interested.
Trust this person.
But
anybody
it's a
doing
lie.
That, you can't trust that person to be
and you should be
president.
concerned
you had the
that
worst
he's lying.
hurricane like maybe ever. And boy, did North Carolina get hit, but you got hit really hard. And you had, and I want to thank.
Does he know where he is right now?
Because Elon, the head of North Carolina Rescue, and your governor, and also some of your people that did a really great job, but had very little federal help. They asked, would it be possible?
We will certainly raise the cap by then. But no, I don't think it's much of a coincidence.
Because we like intelligent people. We got to protect our brilliant people. We don't have too many of them. And when I said that,
Donald James X, there won't be another January 6th at the White House, but if the election is close enough in the event of a tie, the SCOTUS will give it to Congress. Yeah, don't make it close. Get out and vote. But you're right. They'll try to screw with it any way they can.
China, no,
and if it's a landslide for Harris, be prepared for lone wolf terrorist attacks.
The man from
just keep your head on a swivel.
By the way,
keep your eyes scanning.
He's from North Carolina. He said, "Sir, could you call up Elon Musk? I know you have a good relationship. We want Starlink." I said, "What the hell is Starlink? Tell me about it."
No, we don't want Starlink.
It's a communication system. All of the wires in parts of Georgia.
Here's why we don't want Starlink, because he's giving information to Russia pertaining to Starlink. You know, Starlink that the Ukrainians are using? Starlink that We said, hey, Ukrainians, we've got a businessman here who's got a solution for you. He's one of the oligarchs who runs our economy. We gave that power to Elon Musk, and he turned around and is helping Russia. He's helping an enemy of our country. Technically speaking, Russia is an enemy of one of our allies, but that puts him about this close to straight up being at war with us. We're not there. We're not there because Putin knows he'd lose to our Coast Guard. But nonetheless, they attack us regularly during the election season, especially because they don't have to worry about getting shot at yet. They are nearly an enemy of the country. Elon Musk is helping them. Trump talking about contracting Elon Musk to do any more government work, getting tied up with any more of the X line of scams that Elon Musk runs, that's extraordinarily dangerous. That's putting Elon Musk's grubby little fingers in every home in America. Don't let it happen.
Win this election. And he's a very smart guy. But how good is that? Think of it. He is
China.
Campaigning for all of us.
Leon.
He's not campaigning for me. Thank you very much, sir. That's fine. It's all right. That's very good. I like that. I like that.
I got to hear that again.
Campaigning for all of us. He's not campaigning for me. Thank you very much, sir.
I didn't hear what he said.
It's all right. That's very good. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. How can I get angry at this guy, right?
Oh, he's
Normally
pissed.
I'd say, who the hell is in front of me with the sign? But that sign is okay, sir. That because he's up there and he's going to help us
furious.
out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all right. Thank you very much. A stupid person would say, get the hell out of here. That would be the end of the night. That would be, Josh, that would be the end of the night, right? No,
The thing I wanted to say, a stupid person would have said, or would admit to wanting to say.
Here are some of the facts. Kamala is a radical left Marxist rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas.
Think of it, drink.
She destroyed our economy. She was an original
Metal One.
creator of defund the
It is
police.
part of his grift and strategy. Say a lie so many times and confidently, and people will eventually believe you. That is how he got so many cult followers. Yeah, I think you're right. And more than they'll believe you, they'll just stop. They'll just accept it as a thing you get to say.
Can you believe it? Let's go, ICE. Get out of here. We'll take care of these tough killers.
What's he talking about? Nothing
do
discernible.
Tell you who wouldn't have the guts to do it. Liz Cheney wouldn't have the guts to do it. Liz Cheney.
Anti-corporatist.
She's a big talker. We're gonna put thousands
I don't
of
know if there's
soldiers
flooding in the mountains.
and they'll die. They'll all die. And I'll
Such
be
an
sitting
edgy
home
5-year-old,
with my
says Del
dad,
Martinez. Yes.
who ruined. Think of all the people that are dead right now, and then they wonder why Kamala's doing so badly.
Contrast, this rally is in
with the
Georgia.
Arab Muslim population in Michigan. You see that? They're doing bad. Who the hell, if you're a Muslim Arab, you're from that part of the world, who the hell's going to vote for her?
Really glad he brought up their religion specifically. Trump banned Muslims from America. Trump said he will do it again if you put him in power.
And they're wondering why they have.
If you are a Muslim, or if you have family overseas that are Muslim, understand that under Trump, your family gets put on a list and they track you. And they do everything in their power to keep your family out of the country. And they're going to try their best to send you there too. But oh, wait, I care about the people of Palestine. God damn it, so do I. Trump is not going to help them. Trump is going to kill more. I'm embarrassed that the best I have to offer you is the sidekick of the person that sent a genocide committer the weapons he needed for his genocide. I'm sorry. But the fact is, that guy right there, straight up banned Muslims from entering the country. If you are a Muslim, you should care about that. But guess what? If you're anybody, you should care about that. Anybody at all. If you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, you should know he tried to ban a whole religion from coming into the country. And by the way, he didn't just try, he did it. That is fundamentally un-American.
We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American, and the jobs are going to be pouring in.
Especially in the fields for picking the
Ukraine, which would have
fruit
never
and
happened if I
planting
were
the
president.
fruit.
And I will
The
stop
manual
chaos
labor
in the
will all
Middle
be
East.
American.
October 7th would have never happened if I were president. And I will prevent World War III from happening. Because this would be a war like no other. This would be a war
yeah.
the level
He
of
would
destructive
absolutely
power.
arrest Liz Cheney.
This would be a war like
Tinkerbell, his hats are made in China.
But it could happen.
Fact.
With them, it will happen. I'm most worried about the next 3 months. That's what I'm worried. I'm actually worried about the next 3 months.
Oh, he's telling you what he's planning on doing.
We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection,
I'm worried about the next
resources,
3
and
months.
respect that they
Violent
so dearly
crime.
deserve. We will strengthen and
The
modernize
weave
our
is
military.
revealing a lot,
rebuilt
isn't
our
it?
entire military, but they gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan. Can you imagine that? They gave billions and billions of dollars away, but it's still only a fraction of what we have. We rebuilt the military. We've got to touch it up anyway. We're going to
His
touch
generals
it up.
begged him to come up with a better withdrawal timeline.
I hated doing it.
He didn't.
Because it's obliteration. We don't want that to happen. And you know,
He is
Russia
responsible
and
for that
myself
loss
and
of
China,
equipment.
we're talking about de-escalation, actually, of nuclear. We had that going, and then this stupid
Tom
thing
Trask,
happened with
thanks,
the election.
Jake. I'm not sure what for. I
Biden
assume
thought about
just
that.
for being pretty.
Can't figure out how the hell he goes up to bed.
Ooh,
And
Zach
besides
says
that,
Midas Touch. The
I was
video
just
shows
thinking the other
people
day, you know,
leaving
we have
right now.
countries that
Plus, he
when
actually
somebody calls, like
didn't
Putin
know he's
calls,
in
or
Georgia.
President
Yeah.
Xi, who's a
Caution, big
fierce
brain at
individual.
work.
Somebody said, what's he
I mean,
like?
well,
He's a
Kamala
very
in
smart
Michigan,
guy. But what's he like?
20,000
Well, he's a
strong.
fierce
East
individual. He
Lansing,
really is.
baby.
He's fierce.
East Lansing.
When you get into an argument
Home
with
of the
him, you
Michigan
know
State
you've got an
Spartans.
argument going, right? He's a fierce, and he loves
I'm
China.
going to see if I can find that
and we
people
love the
leaving video
USA,
because it
right?
would not
So,
surprise me at
but
all. Also, did Midas Touch
But I
mention
was
what the
thinking
what's going
today,
on with that hat? I have no
let's
idea.
say you're China and you want to call the United States because there's a conflict or there's a problem.
Good.
Who the hell do you call?
Midas is an awesome
There's
channel.
nobody.
I disagree with a
You call
ton on
her,
where
you
they
call-
stand politically.
He's not gonna
That's
be
fine.
answering your phone.
I
He only
love
works
that
about
channel.
2 hours
I
a
support
day.
it wholeheartedly.
And I understand. I mean, it's okay.
I'm gonna look up,
She can't
see if I can get
really do
another
it. She
angle on
hasn't
that
got
crowd.
the aptitude or the IQ or anything else. She can't do. So who the hell do you call? Oh.
Ghosts and Busters.
Well, I don't know if they have a choice. There's nobody you could go. You ever have that? You're calling a company, like a nice company, and there's all flux and trouble. You don't know who to talk. Here's on a much larger scale, to put it mildly, the largest scale in the world. You call the United States because we have a problem with something. You have no idea who the hell you're talking to. We will build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA, wrapped around our country to defend ourselves and our country. It's all going to be made in the United States, and a lot of it in your great state. We'll put Herschel Walker in charge of that little sucker, okay? And we are going to, we're going to do that. It's so important. You know, it's our technology. I know a lot of people say it's our technology, and we're going to use that technology at an even higher level. You know, when you see Israel with 187 rockets blasted, and almost all of them are knocked down, well, we got to have that kind of capability too. And we're the one can do it better than anybody. You know, Ronald Reagan wanted to do it, but we really didn't have the technology. He was great, but we didn't have the technology then.
Oh my
It would
God.
have been a terrible thing.
I had to jump
it
back.
never worked.
Moron.
Technology where it can knock a-
It's our
knock a pin
technology.
out of the sky.
When he says,
knock out
Israel, they're
this
able to
big
knock
out of the sky,
out
so
187 rockets. We
will
got to have something
rebuild
like
our
that.
cities,
It's our
including
system.
Our capital in Washington, D.C.,
We
which is a
had it
mess, with
15
graffiti
years
on
ago.
our
That's why
marble,
they have it
beautiful
now.
Carrera marble
You moron. You
columns
should
all
know
over the
that.
city,
You were the
graffiti and
president.
filth.
Oh my
and
God, he
crime,
was the
crime.
president. We can't
We're
let
going to
this
make it
happen
beautiful
again.
again, and we're going to rebuild our cities. We're going to work with Democrat mayors and governors. We'll probably have to, and we're going to make our cities beautiful,
and they're
safe
using
again. We'll
our
work with them
weapons.
if we have to.
When they do
And we
something
will teach
amazing
our
with
children
weapons,
to love our
that's
country,
us.
to honor our history, and to always respect our great American
Don James
flag.
X says, "I'm so
we
glad
will get
Herschel Walker lost."
critical
Yeah,
race
seriously,
theory
man.
and transgender insanity the hell out
Metal
of our
One,
schools.
LOL at the garbage for Trump.
And we will keep
Yeah,
men out
see,
of
you know the
women's
irony of
sports.
that,
That's
I
like
know.
a no-brainer.
I know.
Brett Favre endorsed me yesterday. That was beautiful. While we were in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, he said, "I've never endorsed anybody in my life. It was never
I hope I'm
appropriate
not
for
the
me
Michael.
to do so. You're the one
But
person
yes.
I'm going to endorse." And I said, "That's an honor." And he shook my hand. It's the largest hand I have ever seen. This hand is the biggest thing
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
imagine
And you
not
wonder
knowing
why
about
he threw
missile
the ball
defense
so hard and so
after
long. He
being
was a great player,
president.
but he endorsed me.
And even if you don't know the
And,
specific
that was a great
systems,
I will defend
imagine.
religious
Hold up.
liberty. I will
Imagine not knowing about the missiles we give to people. That's one of the things. It just the depths of this guy's. I don't know how he managed to do the job for so long and not know anything about it.
before, because we're putting America first, and we're going to help others. We're not going to be, gee, we're never leaving our shores. We'll help others, but first we have to build our country back up. We have a sick, sick country. I say
Maybe,
we're a nation in decline.
maybe
We're not
what
gonna
we
be a
could do
nation
is not
in
put this guy
decline for
back in
very
charge
long,
if we
I
want
can
to build
tell
the
you
country
that.
back up. Because
But
the
we're gonna
last
defend
time
our
he was,
borders
we
and
went,
protect
we
our
acquired
citizens. We're gonna do that.
1/3
And we will
of
stop
all
illegal
debt that we
immigration
currently
once
have.
and for all. We're going to stop those
1/3 of
criminals
it
from coming in.
came straight from Trump.
We're
Because
being
he does not
invaded,
know
and
what
we're
he's
going to
doing.
stop it. And we
We're
will
not
not be
being invaded.
and we will not be
We
occupied.
really are not.
We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. They are conquered. Can you imagine Can you imagine 5
What
years
conquered?
ago, me standing up and saying, we will not be invaded. We will not be conquered, because we are being invaded. And can you imagine that we even think of that?
We're not.
Using those expressions. Can you imagine that I'd be up here saying, and I will stop men from playing in women's sports?
Thank you, Nina Canadian. Since the world suffered through the term of
It's
President
interesting.
45,
I read so
I've
much,
paid
and it's such a
attention
big
to
deal.
what Americans pay
So,
attention to.
as I said,
I've
I've
learned
been
about
doing this for
extreme
9
Christianity
years.
and
I've never had
groupthink
one
and
person. They
patriotic
come up,
psychosis.
"Sir, I think you
This
should
is
cut
good.
taxes. I think you should do this.
Love
I
to
think
talk
you
to you
should
about
have
this because I'm trying to
Elon
figure it
build
out
a rocket
myself.
to
I
Mars."
live here and I don't get it.
Everything. They never said to me, "Sir, it's very important that men be able to
Persecution
play in women's
complex.
sports."
Yeah.
I've never had anybody
Hey,
come
the
up
letter
to me.
hack.
And yet it's like a big
Trump
deal.
started
That's all they
wearing
talk
gold and
about.
black
I
at
never had anybody come up
the
and
Madison
say,
Square
"Sir,
Garden. Huh.
it's so important letting men play in women's sports."
Well, thank you.
I don't get it.
It's
Same
weird that
with
he's wearing the
transgender.
hat this whole time. I don't know why it's
They want to do
tucked
things
down
that
like
they
that.
shouldn't be doing. It's terrible. And oftentimes when it's done, that person that it was done to 10 years later said, "Who did this to me? Who did this to me?" How sad is that? Little children, they take them without parental consent. Can you believe it? It's not even
Sort of like,
possible to believe.
I don't know,
And we're gonna change it
kidnapping
all
kids,
around, and
separating them
the
from their
people who need-
parents,
because
sending
you know
their
what?
parents to
We're
a
the party
different
of
country,
common
holding
sense.
on to the
Party
kids,
of common sense.
failing to keep track of where
We will
everybody
be
went.
a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And
He
every
made
day
orphans
will be filled with
out
opportunity
of thousands
and
of
hope,
children.
and always filled with
Orphans
that
because
beautiful
they
American
literally
dream. Yes,
lost,
children. I mean, you
not
have
a
your
metaphor,
children yourself, but you
lost
want your
their
children
parents.
to have
Don't know
the
where their
American
parents are.
dream.
Don't have a way to
And they're gonna
contact
have
them.
it. They're gonna have it. They're gonna have it very, very soon.
See previous
But for that
comment,
to
Jake.
happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left
Did
agenda
somebody
with a
already mentioned the
landslide that
Proud
is too
Boys
big to rig.
colors? Oh, shit.
So on Tuesday,
So he's signaling to the Proud
see, it's
Boys.
very simple. For 2 weeks, I've been saying, call this number, that number.
That's why he's
early
doing it.
voting, late voting.
I see.
We should have one-day voting.
He's saying,
with paper
Proud Boys,
ballots,
get ready for another coup.
voter ID, and proof of citizenship. Yes, I'm a United States citizen. And you know what? The voting would be concluded at 9 o'clock. The winner would be announced, and the loser would be announced at 9:30. You would save hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you know that paper ballots. Actually, the paper is highly sophisticated. It's called watermark. I mean, it's like got fingerprints on it. Very sophisticated. But you know that it cost 8% of the machines, and I'm upset because the machines, they say, I mean, when are we going to have they don't know. They don't know what
He
it's going
is
to be Tuesday. It should
indeed
be Tuesday
getting the
night.
band
We should
back
demand
together.
it has to be accurate. Number one has to be Tuesday night, but eventually, and we're going to work on that. That's a part of our platform. We're going to go to France. Did it? They had 39 million people vote. They voted. They had a winner. They had a loser. They went to mail-in ballots, and it didn't work. It was tremendous, rampant cheating. As you know, there would be. Jimmy Carter said there would be when he was asked to chair a commission. But we're going to bring so many things back to our country, and they're common sense things like that. You need to get out and vote. We're going to do things that are going to make you so proud. And we just don't want to take a chance. We're leading by a lot. We're leading by numbers that nobody's ever seen
This
before.
is so
Some
dumb,
people
says
said, I really
Pinkerbell.
don't
He's
believe
so
these
in the
polls.
weeds.
This is going
Yeah.
to be a landslide because, we did a great job.
Donald
For 4
James
years,
X. Oh,
right
yeah.
to
Trump will
try,
pardon
another thing
many,
we did,
except
right
for
to try
Rudy.
if somebody's terminally ill.
Yeah, because he owes Rudy money.
Try instead of going to
Can't pardon him.
Europe or Asia. They're terminally ill and they have to leave our
Zach,
country.
yes, he is also calling fraud voting, meaning he knows he's going to lose, just like last time. Remember? Yeah.
42 years in the making.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it done. I
Hey,
said to the person
potential Republican
wanting
voters,
it, you have
make
to
a
sign
note
no liability.
of
You're
this.
not going to sue the
Look at him
country.
already
You're not gonna
whining.
sue the
Look at him
doctor, the
already
lab. You're not gonna sue
bracing
anybody.
to get knocked the
And
out.
we've saved thousands and thousands of lives with right to try. It's been amazing. And the people
Tom
that
Trask
fought
says
it
it's weird
hardest
that he
were
knows so
the
little about the ballot tabulation process. I don't think it's
various
weird,
insurance
actually, because
companies.
he
They love it
pointedly
because
doesn't care
when you
about what the
save
truth
people that
is.
are
The truth
terminally
isn't
ill,
a
that have no
benefit to him.
chance of living,
Because
now
he
they're
does
saved, and
know,
not only are they
ultimately,
saved,
the truth.
they're
The truth being that he's
disease-free.
lost every time
I mean,
people said
what
he
a
lost.
great thing that is. And thousands of people have been saved. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the
Anti-corporatist, I
most
believe yellow and
sinister,
black is also
corrupt
the color of Georgia Tech, and
forces on
Georgia
earth.
Tech to pull
With
up
your vote in this election,
in
you
Eddie
can show
Hall of
them
Georgia.
once and for all
Yeah,
that
but he
this
forgot
nation
he
does
didn't
not
know he
belong
was
to
in
them.
Georgia.
This nation belongs to you.
Tinkerbell, Rudy is having a bad week, and I love it. Oh, for the record,
was
no, it does not
hardworking
belong to MAGA.
patriots like
If it's
you who
between
built this
MAGA and us,
country.
then it belongs to
And
us
2
and
days
not
from
MAGA.
now, it is
Prove it on
hardworking
Tuesday.
patriots like you who are going to save our country. 2 days, 2 days. What a beautiful sound. What a beautiful sound. 2 days. Oh, please, please, please help this country, please. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. You watch. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so much fun. It'll be nasty a little bit at times,
Either
and maybe at the beginning in particular, but it's going to be something.
the beginning 4 years of a new era,
Never has reached,
or the
and
bloody
nobody ever even thought it could. You're going to see things that you're not
4
going to
years of tragedy that signals the end of
With
the
your
old era.
help,
I like to think
now until
the old
election
era
day, we
ended
will
gently
restore America's
already.
promise, and we will take back the nation that we love. We love this nation.
Watch for Trump to try and call
That's
an
why I'm
early
doing this. I
victory
didn't have to
Tuesday
be here
night. I think
tonight.
you're
I
right.
could have been on a
I
beautiful
think you're
beach
absolutely
somewhere.
right.
The sun pouring down on me, the waves, saltwater
Cat
waves
67
hitting me in
Cat.
the
God,
face.
I'm losing brain cells having to
love
listen to
those
Trump talk.
properties,
Not
but you
much
know what? I
longer.
love this much
He's
more. Not
he's
even
got
a
to run
mile.
out of steam soon. He came in on empty. He's going on fumes now. He's going to
Many
pressure
people
Fox
have
to
said,
call
have you
for
had it?
him
Because
right
they've
away.
treated
Yes,
me
he is.
terribly, you know. Look, they treated Andrew Jackson, President Andrew, a great general and a good
Yeah,
president.
he was wearing
They
those
treated
colors
him
at
the
Madison
worst,
Square
up until
Garden as
me.
well.
They treated Abraham Lincoln is considered the second worst. They
Of
treated
course,
him very,
it's
but he was
2020
in a
all
civil
over again.
war,
Yeah.
in fairness. I guess that makes sense.
Jade
He
Dragon.
had a civil
The
war.
Fifth Amendment is protection against self-incrimination.
there's
If
no
one is
question
pardoned,
about
there is
the
no
fact
longer
that I
risk
got
of
treated the worst
self-incrimination.
because of it. And it
Interesting
did. I mentioned
point.
before.
Very
I got
interesting
treated
point.
worse than Alphonse Capone, one of the greatest killers in the world.
Tamara Chance, Trump doesn't give
Scarface.
two
My
shits about how
father's
much it
looking
costs
down.
each state to run
Probably he's
elections.
looking
No, he does
down.
not.
My mother is definitely looking down. My father, you know, a little questionable.
Is it just my phone problem, says Zach,
He was a
or
tough
but
guy, but he
is
was a
his
great
face
guy,
getting
a good
more
guy.
orange every day? I think it's getting
But
more orange.
we're
Makeup
one
is like
people,
his comfort
one
thing.
family, and one glorious nation under
Yes,
God.
this is live.
Under God.
AC. He is not in Dearborn anymore, thank God.
We will never back down, and we will never.
The letter hack. Where did Kamala rally tonight? East Lansing, Michigan. Middle of the state.
We're actually on the 1 yard line. Let's go.
What?
Get out and vote,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He just said his dad is in hell?
We will never. Glorious nation under God, under God. We will never give in. We will never give up.
Good point, Shade Dragon.
We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. We're not surrendering. We're there. We're there. You got to get out and vote. We're there. We're actually on the 1 yard line. Let's go. Get out and vote. Everybody vote, 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 vote. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. We're gonna win.
Jesus.
November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you very much.
I never heard him say that
bless you all.
his dad is in hell part.
November 5th, vote, 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 vote. We're there. You got to get out and vote. We're there. We're actually on the 1 yard line. Let's go. Get out and vote. Everybody.
I don't care enough. Let's just watch him being an awkward prick for a moment. Oh, wait, did he also try to walk off the wrong way? Oh, golf swing for some reason. There we go. Let's jump into the end here. What the? Wait, were those good moves? Nope. No. Oh, this prick. All right, show me more crowd. Pan it around. All right, I don't care enough. David Martin Graff, nicely done. Thanks again for sharing, Jake. Everyone have a good rest of your evening. Yes, indeed. The letter hack. Jerking off 2 giraffes. Absolutely. That is the Trump. Mr. G, good to see you. Shade Dragon, if he's getting more and more orange, he may be applying more bronzer as a cover for something, or maybe he's just trying to pander to the Red Panthers. I don't know. That was a great point about not giving Rudy about giving him immunity, though. I would say this. If Trump gives himself immunity at the same time that he gives Rudy Giuliani immunity, it doesn't matter. But it's still an interesting point. And it makes sense that he didn't do that when he was leaving office. Well. Thank you so much, Nadia Yvette Chambers. Very kind. $10 super chat. That's very kind of you. Thank you. They're Francoist fascists. Opus Dei is from the regime of Francisco Franco, which was installed with the support of invasions by Mussolini and Hitler. Yellow and black are also Libertarian Party colors. Here's the thing. I love yellow and black. It bums me out. I like those as colors together. It bums me out that so many scumbags also seem to like them. I can't enjoy them together now as much. But I appreciate your knowledge of the specific brand of fascism because it does have different implications for the tactics they're willing to use and what we should be braced against. Opus Dei is worth looking into more, is worth talking about more on this channel, I think, because one of the speakers that was up before we went live was a extremist Catholic and was rattling off. Hold on. I misspoke when I said extremist Catholic. I don't know that the guy was an extremist Catholic. I suspect so, but nonetheless, Opus Dei is no good. It's an organization which is affecting U.S. politics in obviously a rather serious way. It's why we don't have abortion anymore. I like silver and black. Yeah, me too. That's a good look as well. And I like gold and brown, like 70s colors, you know? Shade Dragon, great point. That's also why he didn't pardon the Jan Sixers. That's probably evidence he had direct contact with them and very personally orchestrated the whole thing. Great point. Hour and a half behind, says Logan Hill. I'll catch up. Good points, Nadia. True. The anti-corporatists. Oh, wow. I drove a full 11 in a full 14 and a full 14 today, leaving only 1 minute on the clock. Amazing. Well done. Wow. Like the SCOTUS. Yeah. The religious extremism ties in with the corruption in our court systems very, very closely. It's not an accident that these two things are rising simultaneously. The Federalist Society is not themselves a religious organization, but they rely on contributions from religious extremist organizations, if I recall correctly. I need to make sure that I have my facts correct, though, because you have a detailed knowledge, and I don't want to make a fool of myself without the research done. But yes, my understanding is that they rely heavily on religious extremist organizations for like their speakers to come to law schools and talk to students and what have you. It's effed, man. We have our work cut out for us no matter who wins, but it's much more possible with Kamala Harris in charge. Gang, we have in front of us a decision to make. And that decision is, who do we raid? Who do we raid? It would be a shame to end this without redirecting at the end to a friend of some kind. Ba-da-ba-doo. But I don't see anybody live. And so I will say, this has been WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. My name is Jake. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you again, Donald James X, for being a member for 12 months. And thank you, Nadia Yvette Chambers, for the very kind $10 super chat. And to the rest of you, thanks for hanging out with me. I had a good time. No matter what else happens, we're done on Tuesday with political ads for now and Trump rallies forever. Now, this is Donald James X.